And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere. And I'm not sure where to start. First of all, ICE raids are still going. They're not going to stop. People want to put on shows, fake seizures, all kind of stuff to try and avoid getting deported, but that's not going to work. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Nancy Mace, what's going on? Hey, some of these politicians, whether they be on the left, right, whatever, got some issues, and I believe, in my humble opinion, that she is one of them. And Nancy, I said I believe, in my opinion, so don't sue me, bro. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, so Zohran Mamdani won, of course, like I predicted, like any of y'all predicted, like the whole world pretty much knew he was going to win. That was a no-brainer. There's all kind of finger pointing going on. Oh, we got to blame Curtis Lewa. We got to blame Andrew Cuomo. We got to blame the Republicans for not coming out. Ultimately, what happened had to happen, and I'm glad that it happened. So the people of New York who voted for this man can see that they made a mistake. They can experience the error of their ways. For those who did not vote for him, I feel for you. But Tennessee is closed, so I don't know where you're going to go. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, food stamps have been cut. You got 800-pound people starving to death. What will they do? We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. There's a lot happening here. The food stamp cut did happen, kind of, sort of. Now, let me ask y'all a question. How has the food stamp cut, the food stamp delay, how has that impacted your local area? In some parts of the country, they didn't do the food stamp cut because they funded it with state money in the meantime. There's all kind of little ways around it. You got food banks that may have been given more funding, or food banks who were just operating as they were intended. How has the food stamp cut impacted your local area? As far as where I'm at, it's not really a big deal. You know, some are going to say that they're going to go to Walmart and start looting and just acting the fool. You're going to get some people going into Walmart and getting food they've never had before in their life. Talking about something, okay, I'm going to get some escargot. Do you even know what that is? No, you don't. You get oodles and noodles, chicken breasts at best. And usually you don't even go to the produce section. You go straight to the colorful boxes of whatever. First of the month, when your EBT card gets newly refreshed, your cart is full of junk. I used to work at Sam's Club back in the day, and I would see your carts, and I would be just like, ew. I judge you. Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm the guy in the grocery store looking at your cart and judging you. Now, you might not care. You got a whole cart full of Cheerios, honey buns, soda. Hey, you might not care what I think, but I am judging you for sure. Now that the food stamps have been delayed, some of your food stamps didn't really hit like they were intended. And please, nobody need to get offended in the comments. ABL, I'm 175 years old. I don't have any legs. I don't have any feet. I don't even have a hair on my head. I'm so hungry. All right. We understand who we're talking about here, okay? If you are elderly or disabled in the real way, not as in I'm disabled enough to get these benefits. I'm talking about like a real disabled person, okay? You in the wheelchair, it's hard to move. You're Joe Biden's age, and you act like him. You shuffling around. Y'all get old. It happens. Sometimes we get injured. Sometimes we have disabilities. I'm not talking about you. So don't ever say that. Shout out to, what was that, Kenneth Copeland? Don't say that I did. I know I've seen that video, but anyway, I'm talking about the regular everyday people, able-bodied, who refuse to get up and do anything, who just rely upon government benefits. That's my issue with them. And as I said from the beginning, if there's a food stamp interruption, a little food stamp cut, it wouldn't hurt a lot of people. Going a little 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, 7 day fast. I've done a 3-day fast, no food. All I had was coconut water. I did that last year too. I felt great afterward. I felt really good. I lost a few pounds. I wasn't starving to death because you know how hard it is to starve to death. You know what you got to do to starve to death? Like, that's not an easy task. People that were in concentration camps or, some kind of torturous prison, like how they had the Israeli hostages. Y'all not going to be up underground, a hostage or prisoner, not being fed anything for or being fed like bowls of gruel for 6 months. Y'all not going through that. We're talking about 2 or 3 days of not being able to eat 5,000 calories a day when you only use 1,000 calories at best. Your body don't move, so you're not burning your calories that way, and your brain is not really functioning because you don't know what's going on with yourself, so you're not burning calories that way. You're just eating for no reason. You're just eating just because you want to eat. You could probably get by on that much food per day, consider how much energy you use. I'm getting triggered. My point is that this little cut may have done some able-bodied, regular, everyday adults who were 800 pounds. It may have done them some good. I'm just saying. Hey, you know what? I was on the plane recently, and you know how you got to get yourself seatbelt, get yourself strapped in with the seatbelt. And as I go to get my seatbelt attachment, the one that you can actually adjust, it was adjusted all the way out. I'm like, who was sitting here? I'm not a small person, but this person had to have been at least I'm a ballpark, like about a good 500 pounds. Okay. I'm talking the seatbelt was extended so big. I don't know how they fit into one seat. Okay. I don't know what's really going on. And you know what else I've seen? A lot of these ICE protesters, quote unquote protesters, getting arrested and they got to put them in double cuffs. You ever seen that where they can't just cuff them with one pair of cuffs because their back is so big, their arms won't connect. Hey, they say put your hands behind your back. Meanwhile, the hands are like this far apart, still behind their back. You got a football field of space in between their hands when they put them behind the back because the back is too big. So then they got to get another set of cuffs in between. they got to get more cuffs. I guess one cuff here, and then a cuff in the middle to link the two cuffs together. They got to get handcuff extensions. Man, that's ridiculous. Seatbelt extensions, handcuff extensions. At a certain point, if that's going on and you able-bodied, you're not sick or something, you be like, man, what am I doing with myself? How did I get to this particular point in my life? Why am I on the ground, first of all? Why am I on the ground? I got gravel all on my head. Why am I on the ground? Okay, looking at asphalt, looking at road paint, looking at gravel, grass, trash with double cuffs on. Where did I go wrong in my life? Yeah, 2 or 3 cuffs. That's right, Debbie. 2 or 3 cuffs. You got one cuff right here, one cuff right there, and then one in the middle linking the 2 other ones. It's a mess. So yeah, shout out to the food stamps. I hope some people are able to understand how it is to not have to gorge themselves every day with a bunch of calories, because that's what's happening. And what I want is for people to just, if they did not eat what they normally eat, I want them to keep this habit up consistently, because maybe they'd be a lot more healthy. Maybe they will feel a lot better. And then somebody said it in the comment. Somebody said 1 fast day a week is good for you. I'm not really sure where that comment was, if I can find it again, but I did see that, and I believe you're right. 1 fast day, that's definitely great for you. Colty77 says, too many people working minimum wage jobs, can't afford food, heat and winter, rent, car maintenance on a 20-year-old car. My thing is people gotta just get better skills. There are a lot of available jobs that pay more than minimum wage, but people are often comfortable at a low level of existence because they have all the government programs to keep them satisfied to a certain extent. Why would I go and get more skills and more education to make more money when I can work this low skill job and then get government benefits? When you add them all up, it'd be the equivalent of what I would get if I was to go get more skills and get a better job. That's the mentality, which is a defeatist mentality because you're never going to be able to get beyond that. Like you see guys working at Burger King for 25 years and they never did anything else other than flip burgers. It's like, bro, 25 years at Burger King. At that point, you should be a manager. You should be a regional director, whatever they call it. You should have your own Burger King. Where's the advancement? Where's the progression? You're able to stay right in that comfortable space because you are being subsidized by the government. It's just very simple. That's why so many people are talking about minimum wage. Back in the day, the argument was 5 for 15. Remember? I covered that. And I said what would happen if you raise the minimum wage artificially like that by the state, you're going to force businesses to adjust. And what's going to happen is one or two things, or both. You're going to have higher costs to cover the newly higher wages, or you're going to have job loss, and the people who do have their jobs still will work harder. So you're going to get better employees because you're going to attract better employees with higher pay. Let's say, for example, here's a good example I'm talking about. Let's say you could flip burgers for $7.25 an hour. Now, for me, when I was 16, getting into the job market, that would have been great. It's my first job. I don't have any real bills. I'm living at home with my mom. I'm in high school. I'm a junior in high school. It's great for me. Now, an adult who's like 27 and he might have a kid and he trying to do something else on the side for a second job, that's not going to be the best thing for him. But if the pay was $25 an hour, now all of a sudden that job becomes attractive to everybody, not just very young people for their first job. So how am I going to compete as a 16-year-old with no experience with a 27-year-old with experience? He got a wife and kids. He's going to be here on time. How can I? He got transportation. He's not walking, riding the bus like me, like I was at that time. How can I compete with him? You see? And then that guy, once he gets in there, is going to say, we want more money. It's a mess. I think we just need to get better skills and get better jobs and truly advance in society. And I think if there were fewer of these programs, we would be forced to advance rather than just staying comfortable, getting fat on the stamps. That is probably the best way to get more of us out there in the job market. Because I'm reading comments, people talking about, well, you Americans don't want to work. That's why the illegal aliens are here. Some is the key word. Some Americans don't want to work. You're correct about that, but not all. Unfortunately, the some get wrapped up into the all as just Americans in general. And then that's their excuse for bringing in the illegal aliens. Okay, that's the excuse. But if the welfare state wasn't there, then all of this wouldn't even be able to happen. The illegal aliens would have no hook, no magnet to bring them here, and people would have no crutch upon which to lean and use as an excuse to not actually advance forward in their career, to not actually gain any more skills. Like I said, you 25 years flipping burgers, and that's all you doing. You just have no ambition, and you're kept right there because of the government programs. Mind the Drip says, pretty soon you'll make more at Wendy's than being a surgeon or a lawyer. That's the goal, ain't it? That's the goal, ain't it? And if that's the case, then what would be the incentive to become a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that? Why would you go to medical school for years and years and years and years? Why would you study hard? Why would you work hard? Why would you do anything when you don't have to? Just like Zohran Mamdani. He's promising all these free things. Why would you actually work when everything is free? On paper, what he's saying makes sense to some people. until you actually, do a little bit of a research on previous instances of this being done. And when you realize how human beings are, when you incentivize humans to do nothing, they often do nothing. And when you have no workers, when you have no productivity, you're going to have no money ultimately. Those who are working, those who are productive get squeezed to death and they get run off. So all you're going to have is a bunch of people with their hand out, with their cup, begging for money, but there's no cup. There's no money to put in the cup. There's no food to put in the cup. Ain't no water to put in the cup because those who had the resources, those who were ambitious and skilled and actually worked and produced things, they have left. So if you're living in New York City, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry for your loss if you're living in New York City. But just know, hey, if you're a Mamdani voter specifically, if you are a regular person and you're not a crazy communist, that's one thing. Okay, we might give y'all a visa to come down south, okay? Hey, we got the southern border. We might need a few more borders. You might, hey, let's get some internal borders. I want an internal border on the Mason-Dixon line, the line between the border of Pennsylvania and Maryland. Let me get a border right there. Okay, let me get a border wall right there. Let me get a border wall around the whole South. Okay, matter of fact, we could do it like this. Mississippi River right there. Now you got the Rio Grande for the border. Our border is Mississippi River to the west. And then Mason-Dixon line to the north. That'd be our border right there. That is our territory. Okay? And if you want to come into our territory, you want to come into the South, first of all, papers, please, right at the gate. And on those papers, I want to see if you come from New York, if I'm hearing that, look, if I'm hearing the accent, bacon, egg, and cheese, I'm walking here. If I hear that, I'll be like, yo, show me your phone and show me who you voted for. Show me your social media accounts. If you have any pro Mamdani tweets, immediately I'm not going to approve your visa instantly. If you say that you're a communist or a socialist or anything like that, immediately your visa is not getting approved to come into the southern USA. Okay? You're not coming here. So if you have all of those things, you're a Mamdani voter, I would say stay up in New York and figure it out. Enjoy it. Hey, he promised all these things for free. Now, whether he's actually going to be able to deliver on the promise is a different story. Okay? Free buses and free this and free that. Rent control and price control. All right. Let's see it actually play out. And, the funniest thing are the people talking about, well, ABL, what if he's successful? It could work. Okay. A pig could fly. Hey, let's go to the Empire State Building and get a bunch of feral hogs from I-75 in Georgia and then throw them and see what happens. They could fly. I guess it's possible. Maybe by some act of God, the pig could just grow wings and start flying. You know what? We could do that. But I think what's going to happen, I got a hot take. If we throw pigs from top of the Empire State Building, all they're going to do is just fall on the ground. It's going to be a crazy mess. Okay. Zohran and everybody are going to be totally up in arms. Okay. They're not going to like that. The pork and the Muslims, they don't really mix. Okay. They're going to be screaming in the streets. Allahu Akbar, all of that. It's going to be a mess. Same thing with Zohran and his policies. I guess maybe in some reality they could work, but we've already tried it over and over and over and over and over again, and it never works. And you know what? I'm going to say this. It works for a little while, for a short period of time, but in true democratic fashion, all you're doing is kicking the can down the road. You're kicking the can down the road. Hey, we'll do with it later. We'll do with it at a separate time. Don't worry about that right now. We'll get around to it. Okay? We shall get around to it. But then when it comes time to deal with it, they have nothing. So all they can do is collapse, just like USSR. That worked for a while until it didn't work. And even when it did work, it wasn't the best. Have you seen any architecture during USSR time? Have you seen the old Soviet blocks? Some of the apartments they were given, like some of the housing. The housing they were given during USSR, you're talking about like project buildings with basically a whole family in one room. And I think the way they did it at first was Russians had apartments that were pretty spacious. But then when there was a need for a bunch of housing for the workers, they made people who had these spacious apartments partition them to put in other families. So you basically had your whole family. It could be 8 people living in one room. Bathrooms, kitchen was communal. So imagine you got your whole family, your mom, your dad, your kids, your grandma, grandpa, all of them, auntie, uncle, sharing one room and a bathroom with a whole different family. And then they built more housing, and a lot of it was substandard. And and guess what? Here's a funny part. You had the best housing. Guess who had the best housing in USSR? The political elites, the court people, those who were deemed important by the state, those who worked for the state were the ones getting the best of everything. It's just like Kim Jong-un. You're going to see him fat as fat could be. But look at the citizenry. About that thin, rail thin, starving, like actual starving. You see, what's happening here in USA with the food stamps, that's not starving. Starving is you have no food at all. There's no protein. There's no carbohydrates. There's no nothing anywhere. You got to start to forage wild animals. Now, one thing about the food stamp people who are upset about their stamps being interrupted, I've not heard them say they had to go out there and hunt some rabbit or squirrel or deer or hog or nothing like that to be able to eat. Okay, I've not heard them say that. And whenever I see somebody talking about food stamps and complaining, they got the biggest back in the world. It's like I said before, like a camel. You may be thirsty in this desert, but your hump has all the water you're going to need. You're going to be okay. You're not going to die of thirst. You already got the water right there in reserve. You're not going to die of hunger when you're 800 pounds and one day are not eating. You are a food addict and you have a problem. You're having withdrawals, sugar withdrawals. Your sugar is low. You got diabetes because of your diet. It's not about you not eating. It's about your physical health not being the best, which, hey, back to square one. This is a good thing for those who have a lot of weight on their body, who like discipline. This is a good way. This is a good way right now to teach you the needed discipline. TJ says, in Soviet Russia, economy work you. Exactly. That's what's going on. 100%. The economy work you. I said it in one of my shorts. And shout out to Monique for the shorts. The shorts have been amazing, Monique. So shout out to you, the best editor anywhere on these interwebs, anywhere in this world. But I said it. It's like when you are in capitalism. Well, hold on. Not capitalism. Pardon me. Back during the slavery time in the USA, you had the plantation, the master, and the slaves. That was how it worked. And each plantation was like that. The business made the money, the master, overseer, the manager, and then the workers. Okay, the workers had no choice because they're slaves. This is all they got. They work for the master, and then the master get the money, do whatever he wants. He's fat and happy while the slaves are pretty much just slaves. And communism is the same thing in communism, except for there are no individual plantations. It's just the state. That's the plantation. And everybody in the country are slaves, except for the overseers, the managers, which are your politicians. It's the same system, but just expanded out. Now, we ended that system in the United States in 1865 to a certain extent. I mean, ain't no more slavery, but you still got some stuff. But the whole thing about being forced and you have no other choice, that is gone. But it still exists in communist places. And it'll be the same thing in New York City if they're able to get away with it. Hopefully, Kathy Hochul will be a line of defense against that. And good grief, that's a crazy ally right there. Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York. But hopefully she doesn't allow a lot of this stuff to go on that they want to go on. Free this, free that. Hopefully she doesn't allow it. But if it does go through, it's going to be a hard time. It shall be. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Rhonda says it's fat in the camel's hump, not water. Ain't no water in the hump for real? So there's no water in the fat? That's crazy. All right. You're So Cool 23 says, off subject, but PSA, check your chicken of the sea. Tuna in water cans contains soy. No valid reason for it. Thank you. Shout out to you. I don't do no canned food, really. Canned food is like a last resort. I would eat something canned, like, if it makes sense. Okay. Like, I don't know if y'all seen on my Instagram. And shout out to you guys who follow my Instagram and Facebook and everything. But I posted a picture of some pickled quail eggs from Buc-ee's. Amazing. The pickle, of course, they're going to be in the can. So something like that. What wasn't a can? That was a jar because it's glass. We talking about a can, like a tin can. Maybe I would have beans or something like this, maybe in a can. But that's about it. I don't really do too much canned stuff. Yeah. Canned food is just for longevity purposes, not to actually just eat that normally. I do a lot of fresh food. All right, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the first sponsor. Y'all know I couldn't do it without you, but shout out to my regular channel sponsor, that is patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link is always in the box, or you could go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them the ABL sent you. Also, please go to ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com / hold on, I'm way ahead of myself. Go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. On the front page of the website, I write articles for each long form video that I do. And in each article, you got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. On the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com / contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok, but they suck. TikTok, they can't, I don't know what it is, but it's like, nah. But I am on there. Shout out to all those social media platforms. You can find them all on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com / contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not. If you didn't email me first at contact@anthonyblogan.com, and the email is always on the website, so you don't got to remember. Just go to the website, in the box, Google it. I'm easy to find. ABL, you'll find it. AnthonyBLogan.com. The email's on the contact page of the website. If I don't contact you that way, after you contact me first, it's not me. Y'all know how I do. You be in the YouTube comments, and then somebody replies. You think it's me? Good evening, sir. Can you please call the phone number here on the comments? I have an important matter to discuss with you. I have some serious monies. I don't talk like that. So if you hear that, if you get them kind of vibes in the comment, like if you read the comment and it sounds like someone may say it with that particular voice, it's not me. Okay. And one of the telltale signs is when they say am rather than I'm. Okay, they say, well, I'm going to call you tonight, my friend. So please give me your number today. Just give me I sent you my WhatsApp number. It's going to be in the comment section. That am right there in the WhatsApp, that's the two keys, okay? So I don't want to see nobody grandma in the Target or the CVS fumbling with some gift cards, okay? I don't want to see that because I am going to call the police. I'll be like, yo, somebody's auntie's in here with 500 gift cards. I know they're going straight to Lagos, Nigeria immediately. Let's put a stop to it right now. But anyway, you see me on TikTok, Phoenix. Shout out to you, Phoenix. Hey, I tried to have a presence there, but they discouraged me. We'll see if they let me on there eventually. Maybe when we get this merger, the TikTok merger, not the merger, but when there's a U.S. takeover officially, At that point, maybe they let me on there. With the Chinese, I'm too much for the Chinese right now. But anyway, speaking about too much, did you guys see this video of the it was an ICE arrest and the guy was like faking the seizure? Did you guys see that for real? Like, okay, bro, I get it. You don't want to get deported, but bro, all of that, man, we're not believing that. We're not believing that. And yes, it has been confirmed to be fake. This is not real. So I'm going to play this. Don't nobody get disturbed. What you're watching right here is a failed Hollywood actor. You are watching a dramatic person, somebody who appears to be very well fed, food stamps, at least about 300 pounds. But I ain't going to go too much into it. What you're seeing right here is all an act. It's not real. But let's watch, shall we? Let's get a little bit of sound, and RIP in advance to the headphone users.
I'm not touching the car. Leave me alone. Look what they're doing. Stop.
That's fine. Back up.
This is my right. She's having a seizure. They're trying to rip the baby out of her hands. She's having a seizure.
Back up. Oh my God, don't touch me.
Pittsburgh, Massachusetts. This is what's going on this morning. Stop yelling at her. Stop yelling at her because you feel insecure. I'm not touching.
All right, bro. So, you know, I know it's not. Do you know how I know this is fake? ICE came out and said that as soon as he was apprehended, after all this, they said, hey, do you need medical attention? No, I'm good. I'm saying, no, it's okay. I'm good. Bro, all of that. Look, man, we told you before we came. We gave you ample opportunity to get your affairs in order. You just say, you know what? I'm going to just stay here and just let it ride out. So what? You got to go. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you came from. What I'm telling you is you got to get up out of here. I don't know where you're going to go, but you can't be here. Yeah, the eyes rolling backwards. It's like, bro, come on, man. Like, what you trying to, like, you trying to be like the Exorcist? If you could be a Hollywood actor, maybe you wouldn't be trying to stay into the country illegally. Maybe you could be a Hollywood actor and come over here the right way and pay some money. How about that? That scene right there, I wasn't really feeling too tough at all.
These are
okay. So this is going to be out there in Chicago, and we got some suburban moms on the ground blocking the road. This is my absolute least favorite protest. It's okay if you're going to be on the side of the road with a sign. Okay, that's fine. But in the street, on the ground, get off the ground. And somebody one day gonna say, you know what? Pedal to the metal. Okay, we're gonna play Twisted Metal. We're gonna play Grand Theft Auto, all of that. I'm not saying you should do that, but somebody one day might decide to go ahead and go for it.
These are moms from across the western suburbs, they say, and they're demanding an end to the campaign of chaos. That's how they describe DHS's Operation Midway Blitz immigration enforcement.
It is worse than you can imagine on the streets right now, and it is because of the federal immigration enforcement that we're seeing every day. And our communities are living in abject fear, and it's time for people that look like us to take a stand and put our own physical bodies in front of those bodies, because it is unacceptable.
These are moms from.
All right, so there we go. That is out there in Chicago. You got these moms, soccer moms, whatever you want to call them, just blocking the road, getting in the way. Here's my thing. I don't like when people, like I said, when you on the road, when you want to just block traffic, I'm cool. I support your protest where it is non-invasive, where it's not intrusive, when you're not just causing a scene for no reason. And these kind of individuals right here, let me show you what kind of stuff they be into. Let me show you a good meme. It's one of my favorite memes. This pretty much describes it. Hold on. Let me see if I could go to it right quick. And I think this will pretty much wrap it on up. You know, as far as that whole thing. Here we go. There we go. There it is right there. That's them. Okay. This is them right there. The handmaid outfit, the Handmaid's Tale outfit, the boot on the head crying, but really is you putting the boot on your own head. That's pretty much what I think about them. That's that same energy. It's like, what are you out here for? What are you doing? You're not oppressed. It's not a problem. You just want to be involved with something. You're not actually fighting against anything. You're not actually trying to make a difference in the real way that'll help us. You're just out here acting the fool. So yeah, shout out to them. I think 14 of them got arrested. Shout out to the police out there for doing your job and the rest of these people, getting them off the road and getting them up out the way. All right. Now, here is AOC saying, hey, I want you to pay for healthcare for illegal aliens, which is the whole reason why the government is shut down right now, because Democrats want healthcare for illegals. They can say they don't. They can say that that's not what's going on. But if they don't want that, if that's not what's happening, I can't tell. All right, let me throw it on the screen right quick. And shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling with us. Let's go ahead and let it roll.
What I'm not going to do is tolerate 4 million uninsured Americans because Donald Trump decided one day that he wants to just make sure that kids are dying because they don't have access to insurance. That's what's not going to happen. And so if those senators think that we're having a shutdown because of me, they're free to enter my office and negotiate, because what we're not going to do is allow all of millions of people in this country to not be able to afford their insulin and their chemotherapy. So come strike a deal with me if that's what they really think is going on. What I'm not.
So what you're talking about when you say 4 million people in America, you're talking about the illegal aliens? I don't think, Miss AOC, that your stance is popular with the average everyday American, especially right now. Economic downturn, the money is not the way it used to be in people's bank accounts. You want to shut the government down, taking away things we pay for now. We pay for these services, because here's one thing about it. Government shutdown, no government shutdown, they will still collect those monies from the IRS. Yes, they will. Hey, let you not pay your quarterly on time during a shutdown and see what happens. Will they assess penalties? Yes, they will. Will they assess penalties? Will you get a potential lien in your property? Yes, you will. Shutdown or no shutdown. So I'm thinking, you know what? If I'm a taxpayer, I'm an American citizen, I don't want my money that I'm struggling to pay for to go to illegal alien healthcare when I got to pay these crazy premiums for health insurance. You're talking about, I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't even make sense to get insurance at a certain point, because you paying so much money. Like, I'm seeing some of these premiums, $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month. Like, I saw one family's premiums went from $2,000 a month to $4,500 a month. In the same breath they do that, they want to say, we got enough money to pay for the healthcare for illegal aliens. Well, maybe, just maybe, the money I'm paying is subsidizing the illegal aliens. I don't want that. And I know y'all don't want that either. Y'all do not want that at all. Okay, let's keep going here. All right, so this is back in Chicago here with the whole ICE situation. And this is a bunch of parents protest. I think there was a raid on a daycare or something like that. So they out there protesting as a result of that.
Hands off Chicago! Hands off Chicago!
A large crowd formed this evening in Chicago's North Center neighborhood over an immigration raid at a daycare.
We had masked ICE agents following a daycare educator into the daycare, where there were parents, there were children.
People are being dragged out of their workplace. This is not political. It is not right. We will not stand for it. No ICE, no ICE, no ICE.
Hundreds of people were there protesting the federal agents' actions and the Trump administration's immigration crackdown.
This is the Trump administration going after the worst of the worst. A daycare teacher taken away.
This video shows the teacher being taken out of Burrito de Sol daycare this morning near Addison and Western. According to the Department of Homeland Security, the woman who was arrested has been in the country illegally since 2023. The agency says federal agents attempted to stop her vehicle this morning, but she refused to pull over and ran into the daycare. Witnesses say the agents went inside of the building and dragged her out.
She's telling them, I have papers, I have documentation.
Several families who saw the
If you got papers, why would you run away when they're trying to pull you over? You know, like, why would you do that?
ordeal called the situation traumatizing. Many of those families took to the podium this evening to voice their frustrations.
Imagine taking your child to a daycare where they are now at risk of their teachers leaving them in the class because they have been detained for being brown, for speaking Spanish. I am so disgusted to call my family in other areas of the country and hear the narrative being shared that they are not targeting schools, that they are not targeting children. We know that's a lie.
Who they're targeting are those who are here illegally. Okay, you could be a school teacher. What they got the and then it's the whole thing about, oh well, it's because you're brown. You speak Spanish. Well, how about that dude from Guyana, South America, not a Spanish speaking place? Okay, how about that dude, the superintendent? Remember him? So is it about, oh, because we're brown and we speak Spanish? Nah, you're here illegally. I don't care what color you are or what language you speak. If you're here illegally, you got to get up out of here. Simple as that. Okay. And was there more? Hold on. Let me see if I got more on this particular situation. Okay. So I'm just reading some of this. It says ICE law enforcement did not target a daycare. They tried to do a traffic stop. So the assailant sped into a shopping plaza where he and the female passenger fled the vehicle. They ran into a daycare and attempted to barricade themselves in the daycare, recklessly endangering the children inside. The illegal alien female was arrested inside a vestibule, not in the school. Upon arrest, she lied about her identity. The vehicle registered in her name, though she claims that she didn't know the man who was driving her car and picked him up from a bus stop. That's probably her husband. Facts including criminality and information on the male assailant are forthcoming, and we will update the public with more. And you know, the man probably got a criminal record and here illegally as well. So when you're getting pulled over, if you're here legally and you're being pulled over, why would you speed away, ditch the car, and run? You do that when you did something you shouldn't have been doing. You do that when you don't want to get locked up because you know you're about to get locked up. That's what you do. Okay, we got Mr. Barack Obama at the Pod Save America. If y'all ever seen that, he quote unquote crashed the stage. I don't believe that. I don't think that Barack Obama just happened to show up unannounced. No security, nothing like that. Please be serious. Okay, like when you go to any kind of like event, White House or the president, if you're going to be there, there's tight security. There's background checks. At the very least, there's tight security. And there's a forewarning of him coming there. Because you're talking about a former president. They're not going to just let him pop up like that. But anyway, they say he just crashed the stage and gave a few words. So let's hear it.
Again, Tuesday was nice, but we've got a lot of work to do. Your task is going to be not to impose, litmus tests. We had Abigail Spanberger win, and we had Zohran Mamdani win, and they are all part of a vision for the future. Our job is to say that we want everybody engaged. And we want to have a conversation about how to make sure that every person in this country is treated with dignity and respect and their ladders of opportunity.
Hey, can I say something right quick? Maybe I'm just realizing this. Maybe I've always known, but I didn't really put it into words. It's kind of like Kamala Harris a little bit. Kind of word salad-y, not really saying much, just saying certain talking points that would invoke a round of applause, or saying things that the audience would just like, and maybe they're going to applaud afterward. It's not really anything of substance.
And there's the possibility of community and that we're getting along, not in some cliche, phonied way, but in a genuine, deep way where we recognize, yeah, we have differences, and yes, there are fights that are going to have to be fought, but that deep down, there is something core in us that we have in common that is extraordinary.
It ain't nothing there. This is Kamala Harris word salad. There's nothing there. I can't really attach anything to what he's saying. There's nothing that I could reach out and just grab onto and really use. These are empty words. This is just a guest appearance from Barack Obama. All right, Mr. Obama, can you come in there, like, talk for like 5 minutes? All right, I'm gonna just say a few things. We're great. Democrats are good. We won. Thank you. Good night. That's pretty much what happened. Orator in chief, yeah. Basically, when Obama first came out, like right around the 2008 time, well, when he was first known to the mainstream, I say he was out before that as senator, whatever. But when he made it mainstream beyond Illinois, beyond Chicago, he was known for being a very good speaker. But now that I look back and I hear him now, he's not saying much of anything. It's just a bunch of fluff. That's right, SR, fluffery. Yeah, Jay Moore, that's pretty much all politicians. And I think maybe I've been spoiled by a guy like Trump, because Trump came out and just said what was real and not just talking points, not just applause lines. He was saying real things. And then you get a guy like Joe Biden. He can't do anything. Joe Biden couldn't give the good speech with the good speaking voice with empty words, or the not so great speaking voice with impactful words. He couldn't do either one. He was a bad speaker and not impactful. All right, this person says they got a whistle to alert of any ICE activity. All right, a whistle.
You guys do this, but we started implementing the whistle in Chicago, or at least northern Chicago and some of the northern suburbs of Chicago.
In the white areas.
To let people know that ICE is in the neighborhood. So if you blow it and it's like beep, 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 that means that ICE is close by. And if it's a long like beep, that means that someone's being detained. And this way it can be a community effort. People are giving them out in their little libraries. People have them on their front doorsteps. I highly recommend spreading the word. Stay safe out there, friends.
All right, there we go. So we got the whistle for ICE activity. I mean, y'all, you know what? I think they, meaning those in the suburban areas, suburban moms, the more affluent areas, I think they don't want to lose their gardener, don't want to lose the person that they do the job that they don't want to do. Okay. They don't want to do a lot of these jobs, and they want the illegal aliens to do it. Now, Americans could do these jobs, but they don't want to pay what it costs, because that would disrupt their lifestyle. Why would I want to pay someone the appropriate money to do something when that money could go toward my Starbucks every morning? Like, I need my Starbies. How am I going to get Starbies every morning if I got to pay this guy a reasonable amount of money to cut my grass? Like, it don't make no sense. I want the illegal alien from Venezuela to do it all. It's the same argument behind slavery. I mean, the more things change, the more they stay the same. The more things change, the more they stay the same. All right, now, speaking about changing, Kanye, what's going on with you, bro? You know what? I think Kanye is a guy who just is being introduced to a lot of different ideas, a lot of new information, and he likes certain things, and he's trying to figure out the best way he can benefit from it personally. And I don't mean that in the way of benefiting money-wise. I mean, maybe that's part of it, but I think he's just trying to figure out the best way to go forward with his life. Because at one point he was like, the Jays did this and the Jays did that. But now he might not be talking about that too much anymore. You might see Kanye with a yarmulke and the hair and all of that in a minute. Let's just watch some of this so you see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's just watch some of this. And again, shout out to the Jays. No hate here.
I feel really blessed to be able to sit here with you today and just take accountability. I was dealing with some various issues, dealing with bipolar also. So it would take the ideas I had and have me take them to an extreme where I would forget about the protection of the people around me and myself. So I wanted to come and take accountability. Sometimes people aren't that knowledgeable about the bipolar and the cause or what causes it and the way you act when you have this disease. So it's like if you left the house and you left your kid at the house and your kid went and messed up the kitchen and messed up the garage and messed up the living room. Now when you get back, it's your responsibility because that's your child. And that's the way I look at it. It's like I gotta go clean up the kitchen, I gotta clean up the living room, I gotta clean up the garage. Yeah, and it's a big deal for me as a man to come.
All right, so there's more, but this is Kanye was talking to a rabbi and apologizing for his past things he said about Jews and they did it and blaming them for everything. And that's pretty much what that is. Now, me, I say, hey, man, whatever you got to do, I feel like next week it'll be something else, okay? Today you talking to the rabbi and you are apologetic. The next week it might be something else. The next week it might be full-on Adolf. Funny mustache. You never know with Kanye. So, yeah. And you know what? I think he might have been on his medication right there. Mumbling or, voice don't sound right. You know what? More of the story is, please avoid medication. Avoid medication, man, because you think you're solving one problem, but you're creating another one. Now, I know some of y'all, well, look, ABL, I got this rare. I said avoid it. Avoid it if at all possible, please, because your mind is not going to be balanced the way it should be when you're on these things. And then sometimes you could just kind of like trip out. Didn't we see a lot of these school shooters with SSRIs and stuff like that in their background? Why did we see that? It's because when you're on these medications, it kind of does that to you. Okay, it does that to you. Hold on. I got to find the joke because this joke, it really kind of ties into that, what I just said. It ties into that perfectly. Oh, here, I found it. I found it that quick. Shout out to me. Okay, hold on. Let me just get it together. And then we're going to let it rock. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. Okay. I'm going to just kind of let y'all not see so much of this because it's distracting. Let me just go right here. Okay, this is going to be Kill Tony. And you can see right here we have a Transformer comedian, okay?
Transitioned medically about 3 years ago as well, maybe a little bit before I did comedy, but I've been socially transitioning since I was probably like 14.
And medical means
hormones.
Right. And how are those affecting you? Is it still the same? Anything new? Are you like feeling more like a woman every day? Or are you starting to get to like school shooter mode?
No.
These levels, they have to be checked. If you just keep taking stuff, turns out that's not always good for everybody's brain. But you seem to have a good handle on yourself. You seem very present. You always have.
That is hilarious. And that is Roseanne right there. You know what? It's good when you have comedians who crack up at your joke. That's when you got a good joke, when the comedians laugh, because they don't laugh. Comedians just say, oh, that's funny, that's hilarious. Yeah, that was a good joke. When the comedians crack up, you got them. That was a great joke. So yeah, shout out to him, her, whatever. And it's okay. It's totally fine. No, can nobody get offended because he's a comedian too. So he's going to be on stage cracking jokes, the same as Kill Tony, the same as everybody. They're all going to crack jokes, and it's fine. It is okay. And yes, that was the lipstick on the teeth. Hey, the lipstick on the teeth, that was the icing on the cake for that joke was the teeth with lipstick on it. Icing on the cake. So yeah, shout out to Kill Tony and shout out to that dude for taking the joke pretty well. Okay. So you can't get into it, Shay? I get it. It's not for everybody. I don't really watch them, but I see their clips occasionally. To me, if you got a good joke, it's a good joke. I'm not really into Cam Patterson. I'm not into that guy. He's cool. I like him, but he's not really all the way there yet. But some jokes I see, I like. All right, this is going to be a turning point event. And I want to show this because this appears to be what is happening with a lot of these events. They're getting the same question asked over and over. And you already know what it is. These young guys, these young white guys asking about the Jays. And you know, I'm going to say this right now. I think the young white guys especially are upset at the current state of the economy and or the current state of their lives. They are not where they would like to be financially. So what's happening is some of these guys are just blaming the Jews. And this is a pattern that always happens. Any kind of economic downturn, they say, you know what? Let's blame the Jews. They did it. It's their fault. You're looking for a finger to point. You're looking for someone to blame rather than saying, you know what? What can I do to improve my life? How can I become better than I am right now? How can I become better than just average? What can I do to improve this country? Because listen, the young people are the future of the country. When everybody gets old and pass on, it'll be them that's running it. The people that's in high school now are going to be the leaders in a very short period of time, 20 years, maybe tops. So they got to ask themselves, what are they going to do to bring the country forward? Bringing up old ideas about blaming the Jews and trying to be communists, it doesn't work. They already did that in Europe in the 40s. They did that already. And you see how it played out. Now you want to do it again in 2025 is going to be the same result. But I'm going to just play some of this right quick.
Mr. Trump and Ms. Trump, I'd like to ask about your father's relationship with Israel. He's taken over $230 million from pro-Israel groups. During the summer against Iran, even though he advised against it, Israel still attacked Iran and the U.S. still bombed on behalf of Israel. Your father's frustrations with Netanyahu have been made clear when he cursed on national TV over the situation. Israel has not been a great ally to the U.S. all the way since 1960 when they bombed the USS Liberty. Israel is a nation where Christians are constantly under attack in both Gaza and the West Bank. We talk about America first and defending Christians, but how can we do this if we align ourselves with a nation that does not do that itself?
And the crowd goes wild. But see, some think that he's making sense, and maybe he can make sense in some things that he's saying. But ultimately, what it boils down to is what I said. It's about, hey, I'm not where I am. I'm not where I'm supposed to be financially. I'm not having the best time of my life. So I have researched or watched people say that the Jews did this and the Jews did that. So therefore, I'm going to focus on that. And if I can fix that, then whatever I'm going through is going to be better. That's how I see it. And when I say that, sometimes a lot of these young guys will say, oh, you're just a shield for Israel. I don't care nothing about Israel nowhere. I'm America first. But I see the pattern. It's always the same thing. And I'm just telling you guys exactly what's going on. If you just were to improve yourself, then you wouldn't be worried about this. Because we give money to a lot of different countries. We give money to a lot of different countries. and involve ourselves in different conflicts all the time. But Israel seems to be the one that is getting a lot of attention for the reason I already mentioned. When you don't do well economically, you look for somebody to blame rather than looking inward to see what you could do better.
There's no question my father's had frustration. In fact, I think he's had frustration throughout the whole conflict with both sides. At the same time, make no mistake, you have a nation that is chanting death to America every single day on the streets of Tehran. You have a nation that will develop a nuclear weapon, and you have a nation that will use that nuclear weapon against the Western way of life. There's no question about it. You have a nation that will use proxies around the world, whether it's Yemen, whether it's a lot of other ones, to inflict serious harm on this nation, and they don't hide it. They don't hide it. In fact, it's really interesting. About a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, they put out, the Ayatollah in Iran put out an emoji, a little short video clip of a drone hovering over my father's head as he played golf.
So you get the idea. Ultimately, when you're talking about Iran, all these places, there's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be fighting in that particular part of the world. And I think what happens a lot of times with Israel and the U.S., we kind of use them for a proxy. And I would just want us to not really be involved in any kind of foreign conflict, whether it be Israel or whoever. But like I said, the only nation that gets a lot of attention like this normally is Israel because of the money aspect. Ukraine is in the same boat. Taiwan might be in the same boat too. I don't want to go to Ukraine, Taiwan, Venezuela, or anywhere. Not just one particular country. I don't want to go anywhere. And here's what I'm talking about as far as these young guys, they get filled with the information, blaming the Jews did this, the Jews did that. And then when they're out in public, here's what they do in public. This is going to be Dave Portnoy. Now, I'm not a big Dave Portnoy fan. If you guys know, Dave Portnoy is the founder of Barstool Sports. I'm not a Portnoy fan, but this right here is crazy. Look what happens.
I like it. Hey, fuck the Jews! Fuck you, Dave Portnoy.
Not cool.
Why you come in the camera, buddy? Why you come here?
Oh my gosh.
So you can see, young white guy just frustrated. That's all. Young white guy frustrated. This is the same energy you just saw right there. Not with the throwing the money and saying F the Jews, but it's the same. It goes to that point because you're just venting your frustration. Ultimately, if they were to talk to them and really see what's going on, it'd be because they don't have any money. That little $2 they threw at them in change is a part of the money they got to their name. When you really get down to the bottom of it, it's all about trying to improve yourself. That right there was just a lashing out because he has no other way to express his frustration. I see what's going on with you young white guys. I see it. I know what's happening. I already seen it before. But you got to focus on you. If the white guy especially if the white guy says, we built this nation, we conquered oceans, we developed, we had the whole world up under our thumb. If you guys say that, then why are you being held down right now? Why are you being oppressed right now? You can't go back to that same industrious and adventurous nature you had at one point in history, or is that gone? Y'all tell me. You let me know. I'm just trying to figure it out. What happened next? Nothing. They were just talking, and then he walked away. But anyway, you see what's going on now. Marjorie Taylor-Greene, Miss Jewish Space Lasers herself. Shout out to her. I'm just playing a little bit. She doesn't believe in that anymore, so it's okay. Now, Marjorie, what's going on really? You seem to be on the tour. I've already shown videos of her talking negatively about conservatives. And if you're going to be in office, you need to be working with conservatives, trying to get things accomplished, rather than whenever I see you, it's about something negative that we're not doing. That's not being a team player. If you're going to be in government as a Republican, we stick together. The infighting and backbiting doesn't do anything to help anybody. It doesn't progress anything forward in the Republican Party. It does not help us, and it doesn't help her. Now, maybe her intentions are to do a heel turn and be a Democrat and run in 2028 as a Democratic person. Okay, I got y'all a question. Do you think she will run in 2028 And if you think she'll run, will it be as a Democrat or a Republican? The way it seems now, she's going to flip parties. I mean, if not, I can't tell. Because this kind of behavior is not what you should do if you're a Republican. If you're a Democrat, yeah, do that because you got to attack the other side. You got to attack the ops. But if you're in the party, you shouldn't be on TV every day attacking your own party. Because what are you really doing? You're just getting in the way. Anyway, let's watch some of this, shall we?
Hold
on. Let me see. I'm reading some of the comments. I can't read this. CH for reals, the Prince, I guess, says, you tripping, bro. I agree with your views, 98%, but you need to read the Bible. But, okay. I've read the Bible many times. What did I get actually wrong? What did I say that was wrong? Let me know what I said that was wrong, and then we can talk from there. Okay. And that's right. Somebody says you got a business to run, migrant run, exactly. Okay, you a contractor, and you got the homies out, you got the essays out there, you got the Migos out there working for $10 an hour, working for slave wages. Yeah, I get it. If you're a slaver and you got slaves, you want slavery to continue. I understand. It makes sense. And the slavery thing should not be something that we are cool with in the Republican Party because we're the anti-slavery party. The Republican Party was founded to end slavery. The first Republican president was Abraham Lincoln. Okay. So, CH for real says, you don't understand the history of Israel. Oh, I don't? Okay. Like I said, my man, what did I say that was incorrect? Give me something specific, and then we could just go from there. And if I find your comment, I'll respond. Meanwhile, let's go to Marjorie, shall we? Let's see her latest attack on the Republican Party on television.
I'm doing exactly what I've done the entire time. I ran for Congress in 2020, criticizing Republicans and Democrats equally. And one of my campaign lines was, I'll go to Washington and hold Republicans accountable. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do right now, is hold the Republican Party accountable to work for the American people on the promises that they made. I'm one of those Americans that feels disenfranchised by my government. And I feel that our government has failed the American people on both sides of the aisle. And I see that all over my rural district. And so I'm simply here saying, let's get back to work and let's actually do the things that we promised. And that's the only way that's going to save our country. And I mean that as a mother, because my kids are 22, 26, and 28. And it's that generation that I'm most worried about. I'm doing exactly.
All right, there we go. So, I mean, you can say that you're displeased with what's happening with the government shutdown without attacking conservatives. It's unnecessary. You're just doing that because you want to attack them. You're doing that because you got some kind of grudge. Maybe AOC was right. You know, hey, you know the whole thing, broken clock, right twice a day. Maybe AOC was right when she said that that Marjorie wanted to be a senator in Georgia. And then Trump put the kibosh on it and said, no, you're not going to do that. Maybe that's why Marjorie is going on TV talking crazy about the conservatives whenever she can. I don't live in her district, but I live very close. I would say if I was able to vote for her or vote against her, I vote against her. I want someone to primary her and get her up out of the way. Get her up out of here. Now we got some more. This is from a couple days ago. Was this Thursday? She put this out.
Oh, I told the lovely women that I met that are victims of Jeffrey Epstein, they also say they are victims of another group of men, one that they're afraid to list publicly, and I told them that I'd be happy to read that name on the House floor for them. There hasn't been any movement forward on that. Of course, that's up to those women, and that's their decision. However, I remain steadfast in my belief is that all of this information should be released. No one should be protected. That's completely unfair. And I think it's a failure of administration that they never released it. No one has released this stuff.
Look, Marjorie, you know full well ain't nothing gonna come out. Why are you talking about it? You know it's not gonna come out. If it was actually there, it would have already come out. Let's be serious, especially if Trump was on it. Do you think there were Democrats would keep that from the public if they could, if it had Trump in it. Come on. They tried everything in the world to get Trump out of the White House, to keep him from coming back. They tried everything they could. There's no there. All you're doing is fueling the left, because the left come out and say, Epstein files. It's like trolls at this point. I put out anything. I could put out a baked apple pie on my timeline, and somebody's going to say, that's a great pie, ABL, but where's the Epstein files? At this point, it's just like trolling. It's just trolling, and it's getting on my nerves, and she getting on my nerves. Her and Nancy Mace both got to go. And this is why people don't want to vote for a woman, because let's talk about this. Not all women. Shout out to the women in the chat. You guys are fantastic. I'm like, hey, you guys are excluded. How about that? But y'all don't want to vote for a woman because things can be one way when they come in, but then something happens. Somebody get their feelings hurt. Somebody don't get their way, then they become an enemy. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. That appears to be Marjorie Taylor-Greene right now. Nancy Mace, same thing. Okay, Nancy Mace, same thing. Now look, this story right here, if it's true, is crazy. Hey, Nancy, I know you like to sue. You're very litigious. Don't sue me, bro. Please, Nancy, don't sue me. All I'm doing is just reading the news, okay? Please, please, please don't sue, because, hey, I'm just reading from New York Post. That's all I'm doing. So look, Nancy Mace's ex files lawsuit claiming she falsely accused him of sexual assault in a plot concocted with friend's estranged wife. This is from a couple of days ago, November the 6th, 25. Now, make a long story short, Nancy Mace and her ex-fiance had owned property together worth like $6 million. The allegation is that she has been accusing him of sexually assaulting her, yes, her, although they were like together in a relationship, about to be married, and other women. And she says that she saw videos on his phone to prove it. That's why she went to Congress and was talking about that, like on the actual House floor. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't think the House floor should be used to settle personal grievances with somebody. You shouldn't be on the House floor bad-mouthing your ex-boyfriend. I'm just saying. Okay. But that's the allegation. Okay. And this is an article right here. I'm not making this up. It's New York Post. You can see it. Okay. We're on the website. This is a real thing. So, Nancy, don't sue me for just reading this article. All right. And look. So, she was on Stephen Crowder's show in May of this year talking about that. So, let's just watch some of this.
Most investigations, when you have someone come forward, you just have some hearsay. You just have, hey, I saw this. I did a lot more than that. I literally delivered on a silver platter. Here is evidence that you can use right now to go make the arrest, and they haven't done it yet. And, that's why, I'm so passionate about this. It's like,
why do you think they haven't, though? Because that is not normal in these cases. I mean, especially after Me Too, where we have men who were accused, and you have to balance. I have a son and I have a daughter, and I'm very worried about her with predators, but I'm equally worried about him being falsely accused. We've seen men be railroaded, and it turns out they didn't do anything. So if there's all of this evidence, why do you think there have been no charges, no convictions, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be anytime soon?
Well, I think that SLED confirmed this week that they were going to provide whatever their investigative file is over to the solicitor at some point. But this is the problem with South Carolina. It is a completely corrupt system. So one of the attorneys, for example, of one of the predators in this case, headlined a fundraiser for the solicitor who's taken this case by handling it herself. So her last fundraiser before her reelection last year was headlined by one of the attorneys for one of these men, or one or more of these men. It's just the conflict of interest is massive. The attorney general who should be championing this case is going to run for governor. I might run for governor. So, when you have these conflicts of interest, there's a political bias, I believe, underneath.
All right, there we go. So that's Nancy Mace talking about the situation in May of this year. She has been talking about it for quite a while. And I think maybe, just maybe, the financial interest of her property that she owned with her fiance, worth like $6 million, could be the essential part of this. But now, here is a little bit more. So the allegation is that she made up a fake gang sexual assault accusation to blackmail her ex-fiance over the jointly owned homes. Of course, the Daily Mail. Daily Mail says that Mace hacked into her ex, Patrick Bryant's phone the day after he broke up with her. Bryant says Mace made up accusations against him to pressure him into relinquishing their 2 jointly owned homes worth around $6 million. Bryant's new lawsuit alleges Mace installed an app on his phone to extract his data. Can we stop right there for a second? You sounded like single white female, stalker. You sound like that from this accusation. And then when I see you speaking and your behavior, you kind of come off like that. All right, but let's continue. He is accusing Mace and a friend of convincing a vulnerable young woman that Bryant and 2 of his friends had assaulted her at a party. According to Bryant's 19-page complaint, Mace told a political consultant, Wesley Donahue, that Bryant filmed, quote unquote, filmed women without their consent, which she would use the information she found on his phone to get her houses. To get her houses. The lawsuit says Mace instructed Donahue to tell Bryant she would make the photographs public if he did not give Mace the properties. Now we doing blackmail. You stalking me, you putting apps on my phone, you hacking into my phone, and you trying to blackmail me. Allegedly. Okay. Now there's more. Okay, that's not really a video that's related. But look, here's Nancy Mace responding to the comment. This is Colin Rugg. Okay, just somebody on Twitter. This is not like a news personality for real. She's commenting, this is false, and you may want to take it down before you get sued. This is your warning, first and last. I'm going to ask y'all, do you think that this is appropriate for her to say that? Is that appropriate for Nancy Mace to say that right there? Why would she say that? If it's me and I'm being accused of something like this, some kind of criminal action, blackmail and hacking, I'm not going to say anything. You are responding because you got that stalker energy. You're on your phone all the time, searching your name. See, that right there. If I was South Carolina and I saw that, I wouldn't vote for her. Just based on that right there, that's enough. I don't need to see no more. Like, she's the type person to call you 1,000 times from a private number. That's her. Crazy. Okay. Now, here's another one from Nancy Mace, because she was at an airport recently and there was some kind of kerfuffle because they were expecting her to pull up at a certain time in a certain car. She was like a half hour late in a different car. So there was just miscommunication. They didn't know where she was. As a result of this, she allegedly blew up at him. Do you know who I am? I'm a congresswoman. You don't treat me like this. And here's something else. If I was Tim Scott, you wouldn't do that to me. Oh, the black card. Nancy, really? So now, because of that story coming out, she wanted to sue the airport? Listen, I've retained an attorney to take swift and severe legal action against American Airlines and the Charleston Airport following allegations they falsified incident reports to defame me. Nancy, come on now. You got to go. You got to go, and Marjorie got to go. Both of y'all can just leave right now. Right now. Am I a woman hater? A woman hater, really? So what I read right there, is that woman hate, or does it just sound crazy? I'm just telling you the truth. Don't get mad at me. Do not shoot the messenger. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. Now, I'm going to ask y'all, having read that, do you have confidence in her? Would you want to vote for her after reading stuff like that? Like, what's going on? Hey, for a long time, it's been drama with Nancy Mace. For a long time. This ain't the first time. It's been a consistent pattern of drama. You know what she kind of remind me of is a younger version of that lady that could be the governor of California. Just similar to that. It's like she's like the early version. But then once you get a little bit later and life gets rougher, she'll transform into the California potential governor. She's kind of like on that same level. Okay. Something's not really right. Anyway, let's move forward. Let's go to Trump talking about what's happening with Europe. The migrant crisis impacts us in America, but it also impacts Europe. But the reason is similar to what's happening here. It's the birth rate. Our birth rate is not as bad as a lot of European countries, but most of Europe is way lower than what they should be. Let me see if I can find the map right quick. I know I love maps, but the birth rate is so low that they are allowing the boats to come in. They're talking about stop the boats. They don't want to stop the boats because the boats are what they need in order to maintain population at a certain level to keep society the way it's supposed to be. What they're gonna have to do eventually is just reduce population. A lot of these towns gonna have to get abandoned. A lot of these cities got to restructure because you cannot survive as Europe by importing the entire third world. I can't find that map, but let's go ahead and hear from Trump talking about Europe with the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban.
They are.
All right, let's go ahead and throw it on the screen right quick. A woman hater. Me, a woman hater, I could never. But anybody who knows anything knows what I'm saying is the truth. They know I'm not lying. I might tell you a joke, but I never tell you a lie. All right, let's watch.
They are flooding Europe with people from all over the world, and Europe is becoming a different place. And I tell the leaders all the time, you better stop or you're not going to have Europe anymore. It's a very dangerous thing they're doing.
May I have a reflection on that? So on migration issue, just for clarification, in Hungary, the number of illegal migration is like that, zero. Because we have a crystal clear system. If somebody would like to come to Hungary, first he should ask for that. If he gives the permission, they can step in. Nobody can step on the territory of Hungary without having a permission from the Hungarian authorities. This is the regulation, simple, well working. What is the consequence of that? We are under sanctions, financial sanctions of European Union, because we don't let the illegal migrations to come to Hungary and to the European Union as well. So we have to pay, just to inform you, we have to pay every day 1 million euro as a punishment to the Brazilian budget because they stopped the migrants. This is the absurd world we are living now in Europe.
That's crazy. That's totally nuts. And you know why they probably got to pay is because when you're able to come into Hungary, you're in the EU, and they can travel from Hungary to other parts of the EU. That's the issue. So you're just cutting off one entry point to the European Union. That's kind of what it seems like. That's really terrible they got that going on out there. But I'm glad that Hungary, they're holding the line and they're not just letting everybody come in to their nation. Shout out to them. All right. Let's keep going here. This is going to be Caroline Leavitt handling somebody and impressing Viktor Orban in the process. Okay, let's watch. And RIP in advance to the headphone users.
He signed the largest middle-class tax cut in 6 months. In 6 months, in record time, putting more money back into the American people's pockets. So affordability is what the American people elected this president to do, and he is doing it, and you guys refuse to cover it, and you refuse to cover that the previous administration created the worst unaffordability crisis in American history. And I've been watching the TV all day saying that he doesn't want to talk about affordability. That's what he's working on every day, and that's what this administration is doing.
Right now. But you know why they refuse to cover it?
Can I
Because they're fake news, that's why. Go ahead.
Can I get her someone?
Sure. Caroline, the Prime Minister would like you to work for him in Hungary.
Please consider.
You know what? That's a very good decision you just made. Please don't leave us, Caroline.
So yeah, hey, Caroline is she's a great press secretary. Fantastic. Amazing. Yeah, she does a great job. The best that I've seen in a very long time. So shout out to Caroline Leavitt, our White House press secretary, the best White House press secretary. Karine Jean-Pierre could never. Jen Psaki could never. a.k.a. Wendy. Jen Psaki, a.k.a. Wendy could never. Caroline Levitt, fantastic. One of the best. All right, let's keep on going here. Now, let's talk about the stamps a little bit with Trump and J.D. Vance.
We have to remain.
And let's get some sound a little bit. Sorry for the low sound, but, blame the white man, I suppose.
We have to remain liquid. We can't give everything away based on a number. Here's an example. When I was president, the number that you're talking about was a tiny fraction of what it is now. Biden went totally crazy, gave it to anybody that would ask, gave it to people that were able-bodied, had no problem. Anybody that would ask, we get the number. And it's many times the number of people are on. This wasn't meant for that. It was meant for people that had real problems, in many cases, people that were down and out, people that could be saved. It wasn't meant for people that could do whatever they want, the people that say, well, I don't think I'll work, I'll just, collect this money. Take a look at the number of what it was during my administration and what it was during the Biden administration. It went up many, many times my first term. We have to remain liquid.
Now, what he said at the end right there, first of all of that was great. But at the end, he spoke about the expansion of SNAP. Like a 6% increase or something under Biden. It was crazy. Now, that didn't sound like much, 6%, but if you do that, like, consistently, you're going to just hemorrhage all the money that's available. And not only that, you're going to have to just tax and spend or create money out of thin air. Inflation is what happened as a result. So, yeah, you don't want to do that. Now, this is J.B. Pritzker talking about SNAP in Illinois and how much they are paying to fund it. All right, and again, J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, shout out to him. Not really, but let's just watch.
The $20 million that you set aside to help fund food banks statewide, do you know what happens with that now that it's half funded? Does that get added to the pot, so to speak? How much will be there for them this month?
SNAP is a 100% federally funded program. And so we're talking $90 million a week for Illinois is what normally would be provided for SNAP.
I was going to ask you, how big of a Band-Aid is that?
$20 million isn't enough. It just isn't. And we don't have enough money. $360 million in a month. We don't have an extra $360 million. We're going to do everything that we can, though. And remember, the distribution points are very important, and those are the pantries. And they do such great work already. So what we're going to try to do is fund them to make sure that they've got enough money to provide mostly dry goods. They won't be able to do the slightly more expensive fresh goods that they often are distributing. But at least we're going to keep people fed for as long as we possibly can. And look, if we run out, we'll have to obviously come back and figure out where we're going to find more money to support, because we can't let people starve. I mean, we have too many people in this state. 1.9 million people are getting SNAP benefits in a state of 13 million people. And we can't let them starve.
First of all, 1.9 out of your population, is that a flex? 1.9 million on SNAP, is that a flex? I think not. And starve, the word starve is being used very liberally here, because most of the SNAP recipients, J.B. Pritzker, are built just like you. Okay, they're a bit bad, just like you a bit bad too. Hey, you the kind of gotta need 3 of them handcuffs, 2 regular ones, and then 1 linking handcuff. You the type guy need to hold the entire seatbelt to be all the way open on the airplane. Okay. I don't think people that's built like you are going to starve for not having their regular bit back meals from food stamps. I think you'll survive. I think they'll survive. Okay, let's keep going here. We got a lot to talk about with the food stamp thing. Okay. My man right here. Listen, a lot of these liberal guys, they come in here and they talk crazy and it's empty. My man right here was really, really poignant. The point he made, it touched my spirit. Y'all ready? Let's watch.
I think I have heard one of the dumbest comments of 2025. I heard someone say, the people who are on EBT, when they check their balance, they check their balance from a $1,400 phone. I say to you, sir, that person who gets EBT, checking their balance from their $1,400 phone. Unfortunately, they don't choose the price for the phones. Corporations do.
And just stare off in the sunset and just let it stop right there. Stare and let it cut. Hey, you thought you did something, didn't you? You thought you was just like mic drop moment, bro. Are there no other cell phones in this world aside from the one that costs $1,400? You got to get the Apple iPhone Super Pro Max 25 Ultra HD. You got to get that. You can't get an Android phone. Oh, Android, green text. You can't get an Android phone for the low. Listen, one of my phones right now is on Metro PCS. Okay. Now, I got a good phone on that service, but it's on Metro PCS. Hey, it's in a little hood area. I got to go in there to get things done. It's a hood area, but it's okay. And when I go in there, I'm looking at other phones. They got phones for no money. Like $500, $200. You don't have to get the iPhone. You want the iPhone. You want all the big back stuff in the store. You want all these luxurious things that you can afford. What they say? When your grandma say you got champagne taste on the Kool-Aid budget, that's what's happening with the EBT people, in my humble opinion. Those who are complaining, you're able-bodied people who don't want to work, they feel entitled to have all these fancy things. So, bro, no, you did not just drop the mic on that one. You really didn't. You look crazy. But thank you for playing. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you for playing. Hold on. Mr. Noel says, my phone was $250, iPhone 6. Guy smiley says, I don't pay over $200 for my phone. Exactly. One of my first smartphones I got was a Huawei, I think. That thing might have been $300. Now, that might not have been the best phone with the spyware, the physical hardware. It might not have been the best phone, but there's other options you can pick that don't cost iPhone prices. You don't have to get that. You could get the old school phone, where all you're going to do is call and text. You could do that. You don't have to have the brand new iPhone every year. You don't have to have the brand new clothes and shoes and stuff like this. The EBT mindset for some people, to be clear, is, all right, well, I'm going to go get Jordans. I've seen it. And I've heard stories of people where they work in, places where they got to pay bills at. A friend of mine worked at an electricity company back in Virginia. Shout out to you if you're watching. She told me that she would see families come to pay their bill or making arrangements to make a payment plan or something. An entire family came up there. Mom, dad, 3 kids. All of them had on the brand new Jordans matching. They cannot pay the electricity bill. They're up there trying to negotiate about paying the bill. If you did not have your Jordans on your feet, matter of fact, one of the 5 pair of Jordans could pay the electricity bill. One. And if you just didn't buy the 5 Jordans, you got enough for 5 months of your electricity bill. But they don't think that way because it's about entitlement. I want to get something from the government. I want to be able to have this and have that. Live ghetto fabulous. Meanwhile, I can't pay my bills. Anyway, I'm getting triggered. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Paulo says, my phone was like $250 and it looks like Frankenstein's monster. Hey, man, whatever works for you. If it works, it works. I tell you what, I have a really nice phone. This is my Samsung 25 Ultra, but I work on this phone. Like a lot of my videos, a lot of my short videos, I record my Instagram stream on this, and I'm gonna put those out as individual shorts. So this phone has made its money back many times over. Now, this phone is for friends and family, the iPhone, the 13, but I refuse to get another one. I refuse. People talking about some, hey, but you get the new iPhone ABL? I sure don't have a new iPhone. I sure don't, and I'm not going to do it. I don't have a reason to. I don't work on this. I don't like this phone, really. It's just for friends and family. because they're scared of green text, I suppose. Okay, it's for them. FaceTime and that's it. I don't want to get another one of those. I get one of these if I needed to because it's a computer that I work on. That's it. But anyway, we got some more. And let's watch.
MAGA dipshits.
Hold on. I'm sorry for the cussing. People cannot talk without cussing. And you know, if people just learn that skill, they could communicate with a lot more people. Let's just watch though.
Since all of you MAGA dipshits are so obsessed with SNAP and people abusing the system and getting benefits they don't deserve, why haven't you little idiots gone and typed your little fingers in on that website and gotten your free food? If it's so easy, all these people are abusing the system, all these people are getting all this free money, then why aren't you doing it? Oh, I'm too good for that. Okay. Try it as an experiment. Let's go see. You guys go take your little red hat happy little asses on down to the SNAP's website. Go type in your information. Go see if you qualify. Go ahead. Go do it. Go see if you can fake it. Go see if you can wiggle your way in there and see how much money you get. I fucking dare you. It's all of you, Mag.
Okay, now if I do that, I don't really understand why I would do that. Why would I try to get EBT benefits? Why would I even file to get SNAP? I don't need it. I don't want to abuse the system. You see, some people in this country don't need these programs and they abuse. That's the whole point we're talking about. If I say that some of us abuse the system, why would I abuse it myself? I'd be a hypocrite. It makes no sense. Is that a flex that you can go out there and get food stamps? I mean, congratulations. Hey, congrats, I suppose. But for me, it's not a flex. I wouldn't want to do that. I have no reason to do it. So I heard your dare. I heard your request, but no thanks. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need that. You know, I'm not in the market for food stamp benefits. Okay. If I was, I know where to go. I'm good, but no, I'm good. I think if you don't need that, you shouldn't have it. You shouldn't abuse it. And having it, if you don't need it, is abusing it, in my humble opinion. Okay, now we got someone who went to a food bank and they want to show off their haul, their food bank haul, sort of. Okay, let's just watch some of this.
Those items, I don't get everything. I don't take the things that I won't use. Leave those for somebody that can. So this week there was only one protein option. It was salad shrimp. So these are, it's a huge bag of these little baby shrimp. I probably will make a few meals with them. One thing I'm going to use from the food bank with it is this whole grain pasta. So I will make probably like an Alfredo sauce with this and put some veggies.
Now, again, we got a food bank haul. So you know how food banks work. It's just free food. You pull up in your vehicle in your brand new 2023 Ford Bronco, and it just loaded up for you right in your trunk.
Veggies in it. During farmers market season, the farmers market had an EBT match, which was a huge resource. Now that that's over, vegetables are expensive. So what I was able to get at the food bank, I got a couple peppers. They are a little wrinkled, but you know what? I can use the other halves of it. And I will dice those up and use those. I also got a couple.
You know what? Can I say something else though? Why is it always the big backs that's picky with their food? Tell me something. Well, a little wrinkled. Look, you don't look picky about anything. Whatever they put in front of you, going to just. Anyway, I'm okay. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying that was kind of on my mind. Like, why are you picky?
Tomatoes that are ready to use, an avocado that is ready to use, these adorable little tiny carrots, 4 of them. I try to be mindful when I select the produce. Produce at my food bank, you can take as much as you need, but I try to be mindful of the fact that we are a family of 2 and other people may have greater needs. I also got this cucumber, but I'm noticing that it's a little rubbery, so it may not be good. And then also some potatoes. So that was the produce.
Okay, so you're gonna show the produce first. They always show the produce first. That's what they always do. When they want to show their haul, they show the produce first. And then here comes the big bag snacks.
We did get 2 cups of frozen peaches. When I've gone before, they've given us like a dozen of those. So that's, I can tell that they're kind of limiting things to make things stretch. And then we also got a can of fruit. I also went with peaches. That's something everybody likes in our house.
It's quite a bit of food so far, actually. It's quite a bit of food. A lot of that you really don't need necessarily. I mean, but it's free, right? So just take it, I suppose.
Some other staples, peanut butter, a package of ramen. You get a box of...
Wait. Hold on. Peanut butter. Okay, yes, it is peanut butter. Okay. I'm just making sure. Because that packaging looked like that Biscoff. Hey, have you guys been to Trader Joe's and seen that Biscoff cookie peanut butter? Oh, my Lord. Hey, I can't go there. For one reason, I can't go to Trader Joe's because they got the they-thems in there. And if there's a they-them apocalypse, they-them revolution, I'm out of luck. If they identify me as a MAGA in Trader Joe's during the they-them takeover, I'm toast. I am toast. The Transformers, the Bull Daggers, they're going to gang up on me. It's going to be a wrap. But when I go to Trader Joe's, they got the Biscoff cookie peanut butter. Hey, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. You go to Delta especially. Hey, what you want? Cookies and ginger ale? All right, boom. Them Biscoff, they have Biscoff cookies in a peanut butter form. If you want to gain about 10 pounds, immediately get that.
Peanut butter, a package of ramen. You get a box of macaroni and cheese. This time they had Annie's. So got Annie's mac and cheese. Some baking needs. Got a bottle of...
Hey, anybody that know me knows my pet peeve, my weakness is any kind of synthetic cheese. That's like kryptonite to me. That's if I smell it, taste it, if I look at it, it's kryptonite.
Oil. They also offered some, I think, flour and oats. I didn't get those, and rice. I didn't get those as a diabetic. Sometimes it can be hard to eat a lower carb diet from the food bank. So I try not to bring those in the house. Also got some instant mashed potatoes. These are the brand that we buy usually, so score. And then the local bread company had donated a bunch of baguettes.
That's good.
So I will probably slice these up, toast them, and then freeze them to warm up at a later time because I can't eat all of that.
Okay.
Also, some little snacks for my husband's lunch.
Of course. Little ho-hos. Yeah, literally ho-hos. You know, that's like the stereotype. Ding-dongs and ho-hos. She literally has chocolate ho-hos. That is hilarious.
A couple of those and a couple of chips.
Some Lay's chips.
We also got a bag of Yogi tea. They always keep the food bank in big supply of tea. It's a local business. Also got a cake mix as a diet.
Mind you, this is all from a food bank. Food bank, all free.
Diabetic, not something I need, but you need a little treat once in a while. Have this good no sugar added cereal. I don't know that I will eat it as cereal, but I may just put it in some yogurt for a little crunch. And then canned goods. I did not take as many as I am eligible to take. Again, just took what I felt like we would use. So we got a couple cans of tuna, some Campbell's chunky soup.
They got that canned tuna from earlier, right? With the soy in it.
We got a lot of chili fixins. So there's chili beans, kidney beans, diced tomatoes, tomato sauce. I also got some black beans. That's something my family will use.
Those are good. The beans, the canned beans, I approve of the canned beans. So her haul is not that bad. She got some big bag stuff in there, some box stuff, but she got some canned beans. That's good. And she has one avocado. I guess that's okay. I buy avocados like by the 4 or 5. Like I bought some today. Yeah, I buy them. I eat one of those every day.
Some white beans and These are like canned potatoes. I'll probably just make a vegetable soup and throw them in. So that is everything that I got this week at the food bank.
There you go. So that's the food bank haul right there. What do y'all think? Was it a good haul? I mean, it wasn't that bad. I've seen worse. I've seen worse from food banks. I showed you one food bank haul where she had a bunch of garbage. Just cakes, cookies, yogurt, just what I would eat from her selection would be the black beans in a can if I had to. The avocado, the peppers, the carrots, maybe the shrimp if I had to, and the potatoes. Aside from that, I'm good. Yeah, it wasn't a bad haul. It wasn't a bad haul at all. So shout out to her. But again, that was all from a food bank, all free. So when they say, "Are we going to starve?" How? Okay. Part of my president says duties ignoring the right-wing civil war. Who is a civil war among? Just like a few people online? What civil war is there? Like, you talking about Candace Owens? You talking about like social media videos? Excuse me. That's not a civil war. That's just people that disagree on the internet. That ain't nothing new. All right, anyway.
So
there's food stamp fraud happening and people are getting locked up. Listen, if you do any kind of fraud involving the federal government's money, they know what you're doing. You cannot get away with it. They can track you. It's okay. They have advanced ways of being able to get in contact with you. If you get a call from the president, they're gonna call your phone. And you're not gonna your phone will not be listed publicly. You don't give it out, but they're gonna call you. They got ways of being able to know what you're doing. So ain't no point in trying to hide if you're doing something illegal. But anyway.
So I heard this lady finna get 10 to 15 years in prison for food stamp fraud. Apparently, they got proof of who is defrauding the system and they coming to locking people up. So the ones that be on Facebook and Instagram and all that talk about how you got stamps and how you just did this and this, they're coming for you. Y'all really think that these people don't see where these food stamps is really going? You think they're just giving y'all food stamps and not keeping track? Boy, they finna do a sweep, just like for the PPP loans, just like them drops y'all was doing. A lot of people feel like just because the local police ain't catch them and, you feel me, they ain't went to jail yet, that ain't nothing gonna happen. Sometimes the government sit back and let you do 10 years worth of bad stuff and then bring that rap sheet to the state and say, yo, this is what we want. They've been doing this for 10 years. Give them 10 years. Y'all better, boy, y'all better tighten up. Y'all better tighten up. They cracking down.
So I agree with her 100%. The moral of the story is do not commit crime. If you commit a crime against the federal government, food stamp fraud, you're not going to get away with it. You will get caught and you will go to jail. And what you said about crime happening for a long time, that they let it go on. Listen, they will let you commit crime for a very long time and just watch you. Whole time they're building the case. The feds especially, that's their specialty, what they do. When they build a case against you, it's going to be ironclad. All you can do is plead guilty and try to get a low amount of time. If you go to court and try to fight it, you're going to lose. The case is going to be strong, normally, which is why the whole Puff Daddy thing was so embarrassing because he beat the feds, really. Like he beat that case. They talking about something, giving them life, all kind of stuff for racketeering. All they got him on was the sex parties. It's like, that's not even illegal. Like, y'all just try to get them on something. But normally when the feds come get you, they got a rock solid case and you're not going to be able to come home no time soon. And if you're going to steal from the government directly, see, look, stealing is one thing. It's bad and you shouldn't do it. But if you're going to steal, the worst people to steal from are the feds. They have all the avenues to be able to detect who's taking what. More than the average person might have access to. You're just a regular drug dealer. It's harder for you to determine who's stealing from you than the feds Can't determine stealing from them. Very simple. Oh, hey, so let's say Osia Rodriguez says the EBT freeze has made grocery shopping calmer. Absolutely, because all the ne'er-do-wells, all the riff-raff are at home. And that's a great segue, Ocio. Great segue.
All right.
Here is local Walmart, fully stocked. Ain't nobody in there because the stamps are interrupted.
All right, this is more like I have never seen this before. And it's starting to freak me out a little bit because I have never, at this time of night, seen everything this full. Like, and there's nobody here stocking anything. There's nobody here. There's a couple people, but that's about it. Like, everything is just filled to the max, which is unreal. Let me know. Something's going on. All right.
Hey, that's how Walmart is now because all the stamps people are not there. And you know what? I usually avoid a place like Wally World right around EBT card refresh time because it just be too much going on. Too much going on. I'm good. I am good. I try to go before it in or after. But now you can go whenever because you're not going to get that crowd. Now, the downside is that Walmart depends on the food stamp situation. I was watching the video. They said like $25 billion a year goes to Walmart from SNAP. So they're getting a guaranteed government check. If SNAP goes away, then Walmart is going to be in trouble. Big trouble. All right. So, yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to everybody out there having a more pleasant experience shopping because the food stamps people are not there. Now, we got another one of those in the same vein. So it ain't just one guy. You got other guys experiencing the same thing. Yeah, no stuff on the floor, AMG. Yeah, no stuff on the ground. I have always avoided the EBT rush, even when I was young, if I could. And for the record, we were never, ever on government benefits. We lived in the hood now. Lived in the hood. Struggled, but there was never no government benefits. Now, if you're on it, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just saying that's what we did.
You want to see something crazy? And we in prime time. It's like 7:30 Thursday night. Where is all the foolishness? It's just not present. I don't understand. It's not empty. But I can walk around and listen. Shh, shh, shh. I can hear myself think. What's going on? What could be the cause? There's very little chaos happening. I'm the only person that I can hear speaking. Look at this.
So you see what's going on. Ain't nothing going on. He's able to hear himself talk in the Wally World. Quiet, eerily quiet. Yeah, that's right. Hey, J-Man, no foolishness happening in the Wally World. And y'all know it normally is. There's always something going on. Somebody screaming, running around, acting the fool. Somebody, wanting customer service to come help them for some kind of small item. You already know what time it is.
So if you got...
All right, hold on. Not that one. Okay, Mamdani. Okay, this is about Mamdani being the most Christ-like politician in our current system. They love him. Listen, the youngsters, the wokesters, they love Mamdani. He's like their guy. They're going to love him until they get to experience his policies in real time, and then they're not going to love him. All right, let's go ahead and watch. Shout out to you guys watching. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously.
Zohran Mamdani might be one of the most Christ-like political figures in our American system right now. And hear me out. I'm Blair. I'm a pastor, a parent, and a professor of theology. And I understand that Zohran is Muslim. That's not the point here. The point here is the way that Zohran describes his own philosophy of the government. In a recent interview with The Daily and the New York Times, he said, "What democratic socialism means is a belief that it is government's job to ensure that every person is living a life of dignity. And dignity is not the things that you'd like, it's not the things that you'd want, and it's the things that you need." I'm going to say that one more time. The government's job is to ensure that every person is living a life of dignity. And when I read the scriptures and look at what Jesus does for people in his ministry, it is to ensure them a life of dignity. It's to heal people who've been exiled because of their illness or their disability. It's to feed people when they're hungry. It's to see children as beloved and to belonging to the community instead of as property or possessions. It's to see women the same way. Jesus ensures a life of dignity for all those he meets. And so if you want to talk about instituting a Christian government, I would pay attention to what Zohran Mamdani is doing. Because what he is describing is a Christ-like system of government where we are all assured the basic necessities for human dignity. And I think that looks like the kingdom of God.
All right, there we go. So she says, look, the government's job is to make sure that you live a life of dignity. What does a life of dignity actually mean? What does that really mean? As you got to have Starbucks every morning, as you got to have your Apple iPhone, your nice, pretty, comfy sweaters and nice house. Like, what does that actually mean, life of dignity? The government's responsibility is to do what we elect them for. I don't elect them to give me this good life. Their job is to take care of infrastructure, national security, things of this nature, governance. Not to govern me and my life and my ambition. I want them to just provide an environment that is as safe as possible based upon our productivity. So if we are a poor country and we don't produce enough to get a good defense, how are we going to have a good defense? It's like Somalia. Ain't no government, so ain't no defense. Some of them pirates are not pirates. They're just trying to protect their country. And some are pirates because they don't got nothing else. They just got to be criminals. Not saying it's okay, but you understand what I'm saying. They don't have the luxury of having the money there due to no productivity to have a government that is actually functioning and can protect them. In America, we do have that ability, but they shouldn't be in my regular everyday life trifling around. That's not their job. So yeah, the things that Zohran talking about sound good on paper. Free this, free that, until you realize that it's not really that possible. It's not really possible. It's a talking point. It's a promise. It's going to be an empty promise, ultimately. It's an empty promise. Do not get your hopes up. And again, people are wondering, how did Mamdani win? They want to talk about Andrew Cuomo, blame him, blaming Curtis Sliwa. You got to blame the actual voters who wanted him to be there. He has a really big following. It's a cult following. All right. Now, this woman says, why is anybody upset at Zohran? Because all he wants is the best for people. He just wants them to be taken care of. Why would anybody be against that? That's her premise. Let's watch.
I didn't even realize how much I needed this. How much we needed this. I'm not even a voting New Yorker anymore, but seeing Mamdani win, I'm sobbing into my breakfast because he just did what Kamala couldn't do, which is unite people across the spectrum of compassion. He was able to unite people on the grounds that there should be no more and there will be no more space held for anti-Semitism or Islamophobia, for people absolutely being trampled on by billionaires and the 1% who are hoarding so much of our country's wealth, so much of our people's wealth, so much of our ability to live to live well, to afford groceries, to afford homes. I'm really good at coping. I'm really good at taking care of myself and of letting myself experience, news of the world without getting totally toppled by it all the time, without feeling angry all the time, because I have really amazing outlets for that for myself. But I think the floodgates that just released in my heart, seeing Mamdani win, tells me that I've been holding it a lot. So thank you to Mamdani and his team, and to everyone who voted for him, to everyone who turned this tidal wave, because I think a lot of us today are experiencing a release and, feelings of hope that people will be taken care of, feelings of hope that the oligarchy will not win, that oppression will not win, that authoritarianism will not win. This is a bright spot that I think a lot of us didn't even let ourselves get hopeful for.
That's quite enough of that. Some of us should not vote, okay? Some of us shouldn't vote. Now, I'm not going to say all women. I'm not going to say that. ABL, you're a misogynist. I'm not going to say that. But some people shouldn't vote, just the same way with some of the men, okay? Some of these guys out here are no different than her. They shouldn't vote either, okay? I think there should be some kind of test to see if you're going to be a good voter. But because we got the ability for all of us to vote, as long as you're not a criminal or whatever, you're going to have things like this to happen. But like I said, it's okay. It's totally fine because they got to experience it. You crying tears of joy right now, but if you're in New York at all, living there under Mamdani, you're going to cry real tears when you're not able to live and function properly under a communist rule. It ain't going to be what you think. Them tears of joy will become real tears. Okay, big crazy tears. Oh, I'm so hungry. What do I do? I can't do anything. I don't have anywhere to live. Hey, it's okay. You'll see. You shall see. All right. Now, this is going to be Palantir CEO Alex Karp. Now, I don't know a lot about Palantir. Do y'all know about Palantir? I don't know nothing about it. I keep seeing it on the interwebs. Y'all let me know what it is. I don't know. But he gave his 2 cents on why Zohran has succeeded here.
And I think,
and RIP in advance to the headphone users. Okay. Now, what kind of shirt is this? Is this like a racing jacket? Like, I don't know what's going on with this company. Y'all let me know. Fill me in, please.
and I think the average, Ivy League grad voting for this mayor is highly annoyed that their education is not that valuable. And the person down the street who knows how to drill for oil and gas, who's moved to Texas, has a more valuable profession. And I think that annoys the fuck out of these people. And I think the average.
Yeah, they don't like that. That's one thing that I noticed. They don't really like that. A lot of the educated people who felt like they were going to be top of the food chain are not. They're having a hard time finding jobs. Meanwhile, the guys that work, they're going to be the ones that really get it in the next few years. And when I say work, I mean do physical labor. If you could do physical things, if you can actually, move things around, what Elon said, if you could actually move atoms, like for real, you have more job security than someone who can't. Now, I'm not saying there won't be a place for those who don't physically do like physical stuff, but I feel like those who do physical things will have more job security than those who don't. With AI and stuff like that coming about, if it's a computer task that doesn't really require human interaction, then a lot of those jobs are going to be taken away or minimized. Okay, now, this is Zohran talking about how he's going to do certain things coming up as a mayor. And it might not be exactly what he was saying on the campaign trail. It might be kind of sort of related, but not really. It's kind of already changing. It's a Janet Yellen. That's hilarious. Shout out to you. You're so cool, 23.
Good morning, New York City. And thank you. Last night we made history. And today we begin the work of making a new administration. Welcome to the transition. This is the period over the next few months where we build a city hall that delivers on the promises of our campaign, to make New York City affordable and to make government accountable to the people it serves. As we prepare to govern, we'll start announcing the leaders who will help implement our agenda. People like deputy mayors who oversee entire areas of government and the commissioners who carry out the critical work of city agencies. These appointments will be driven by excellence, integrity, and hunger to solve old problems with new solutions. Talking to organizers on the front lines of the fight to improve our city, government veterans with proven track records, policy experts from around the country and the world, and working people who know better than anyone what our neighborhoods deserve.
Let's stop for a second. He comes off like Hollywood actor, which is what he is, because he was already in the movie, his mom directed, so that's what he is. And I said it before, some of your best actors had childhoods where they traveled, because you gotta act differently depending upon where you are as a child, so that gives you the ability to act. He's from Uganda, but he's Indian, and he lives in the United States as well. So you were all over the place with your Indian background, growing up in Uganda, in Africa, basically, and like as an African, and then coming to the U.S.
And this will be a period, like the campaign we ran and the city hall to come, defined by transparency, because New Yorkers deserve a government they can trust. On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day, and a new era for this city. Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again.
Okay. So, sir, are you going to do a Bernie? I'm coming to you one more time, yet again, asking for money? Is that what's happening already? Good grief. You just got here. Are you even in office yet? My Lord.
This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. And it will be made possible by the people who built and believe in this movement. So I hope you'll make a donation at transition2025.com. Now let's get to work.
All right, so he needs your money. He needs some more of your money already, Bernie Sanders. Now, this has got to be the craziest idea of all. Zohran says, if you are a slumlord in New York City, the city will potentially commandeer, they will seize your property. Now, people talking about ABL, Zohran's a socialist, not a communist. We're talking about seizing property from people. What is that? What does that sound like? Okay, let's watch some of this, and then I got to give you my 2 cents on it, because the things he's talking about are not even going to work. Hey, RIP New York City, Gotham City 2025.
Starting on day one, we will expand the city's special enforcement programs, doubling fines for hazardous violations and tripling them for conditions that are immediately dangerous. And when a really bad landlord, like this guy, refuses to fix it, the city's gonna step in, make the repairs, and send them the bill. If that doesn't work, the city's taking over the building. We're putting the worst landlords out of business. Starting on day...
Now, all my New York City residents, all my NYC people, do you think the city will be a good landlord? Don't they already own buildings? Ain't that NYCHA, NYCHA, New York City Housing Authority? Don't they already own these projects where it's the most disgusting? It's disgusting. You're talking about urine everywhere, roaches, rats, black mold, everything. Shout out to @mybest817 on Instagram, because he made a good post about this. He's in New York, does real estate. He's saying, look, the private landlord is always better than the city, than the state. They don't really have an incentive to make the property really nice and beautiful. They pretty much don't do anything. They do the absolute bare minimum on the property. So if you take a private citizen's property and have NYCHA run it, how is it going to be better than the citizen doing it themselves? The state, when you get the state involved with stuff like this, it always goes badly. It never really goes the way you think it's going to go. Any black mold, and you already know the notorious housing projects and any kind of housing that NYCHA is in charge of. It's not very well. There was just one building that had a collapse. Remember that? Where a piece of it collapsed. Like it was an old incinerator shaft. But as a result of that collapse, the heat got knocked out in the building. So you got people that with no heat in New York City, rodents, all kind of stuff. Yeah, it's all the buildings. That's right, Sapphire. So if NYCHA is in charge of these roach motels, How are they going to take over a building that somebody else owns and make that better? That made no sense. There's already a track record of these things he's talking about not actually coming to fruition, not actually working. Jab Balu says, NYCHA, no extra charge for the roaches. Exactly. Exactly. It's crazy, ain't it? And also, Hochul was like, yo, how you going to do all that? I'm not raising no taxes. Okay, let's watch. And of course, this is the governor of New York. Mamdani, how you going to do all that? I'm not raising no taxes.
His agenda is incredibly ambitious. It is, as he has described it, a democratic socialist agenda. Free childcare, free buses, rent freeze. The list goes on. I talked to him on Monday night. He said to me he hasn't wavered 1 millimeter on raising taxes on New York City's wealthiest residents to pay for some of that. Now, Governor, you have said repeatedly that you would not raise taxes. You said, quote, I've said there's no new income taxes. Do you stand by that promise?
Yes. Again, what I find so fascinating is all this conversation about how I'm continuing to lead New York State. I'm the one putting money back in people's pockets and cutting middle-class taxes, as I've done, and finding ways to support child care. These are areas where I'm aligned with Zohran Mamdani. And we'll work on this and build more housing so people can have a roof over their heads in New York City.
His agenda is incredible.
So, yeah, I mean, all these promises, how you going to actually pay for it? How you going to fund it? How you going to do that? You're not going to be able to? Not for real? Not really? All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, we got a message from someone down south, and I think that she speaks for me and all of us. If you're a Mamdani voter, we full. I don't know where you're going to go. Somebody going to call me. ABL, I'm a Mamdani voter. I want to leave now. It's bad here. Gotham City, there's no Batman. All we got are a bunch of these liberal guys with man buns and Starbucks in their hand. No Batman. Where can I go? I'd be like, look, you are a Mamdani voter. I don't know what to tell you. Tennessee is full. Alabama is full. Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, all of Texas, we're all full. I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, I will put a border, Mississippi River, put a border right there, Mason-Dixon line, make a nice little, nice little square. Okay, nice little square shape. That'll be our border. You want to come to the South from New York? I need to see papers and evidence you didn't vote for Mamdani. If you are not a Mamdani voter, we'll consider you to come down south. If you are, automatic, you're not going to be approved. Anyway, let's watch this.
Y'all got a little annoyed because of what I said yesterday on my post about Mamdani and being the new mayor of New York City. And I told y'all don't bring that foolishness down here. I was trying to help you out. I live in Georgia and I'm from Alabama. Alabama said they closed. And I don't want y'all down there no way either because I like to go home. So there are certain things we appreciate down here and certain things we don't appreciate. So I was just trying to make sure you knew what to expect when you came down here. But I wasn't clear, so let me make myself clear. The things we love down here, we love God. We go to church a lot. We got a church on every corner. And the church across the street could be named the same name as the church across the other side of the street. All right? So just know that we got Lutheran, Baptist, Holiness, Pentecostal, Catholic. We got all of them down here. We love going to church every Sunday. Then we like to eat after church every Sunday. And we like Sunday dinner. We love guns. Everybody got a gun. So just trying to let you know, you never know who you're running up on. So be careful because you got that concealed license. You don't even know they got it. So just be aware that the pew-pew is on the side most times. Be surprised. A lot of us down here like Donald Trump. So be aware. That may make you feel uncomfortable. A lot of us like the Confederate flag. And we fly the American flag. Every house got an American flag on it. So you may not like that. I was trying to help y'all out because my daddy over there already asking for money. And it ain't been 24 hours since he been in office. I wasn't trying to stop y'all from being great. But down here, you may feel a little uncomfortable. Come down here, we like what we like. You like what you like. So make sure you pick a place that fit and make you feel comfortable and happy. All right, hope that helps.
Very good. That was a very good Hey, you know what? When we start our new country, I'm just saying, that'll be the intro video. Okay, you want to come to the South? All right. Here's some things you need to know. We like this, this, and this. If you don't feel comfortable, if you don't like those things, I advise you to not consider our country. I advise you to not consider coming down south if you don't like those things. So yeah, shout out to her. Hey, very, very well said. Very well done. And a lot of your northerners that come, you know, the Mamdani people, a lot of your leftists, they don't like the culture down here. It's okay. Stay over there. Okay. Now, this is going to be the subway after the Mamdani election actually happened. And my man right here with the Blue Hawk is saying that the energy is kind of dead. People are all like, you know, what's going on? What happens? Like a funeral that happened.
I'm on the subway going home. And it feels like I'm at a wake. People are shocked. And this is not Cuomo supporters. This is New York cross-section. I'm on the subway going home.
So he's saying, look, the energy is, you know, when you ride a subway for a while, you kind of understand, you get the idea, like the energy, how things feel at a certain time, a certain day. You know kind of what's going on. When it feels different, you feel it. You definitely feel it. It's definitely a different feeling. You might not be able to identify it directly, but you feel it. You know what? It reminds me back in my old country buffet days where we would just have a regular day, a regular dinner service, lunch, breakfast, whatever. It'll feel a certain kind of way depending on the day. Sundays after church, it feels one way because a lot of church people dress a certain kind of way. It feels one way. The morning feels different. The evening on the weekend especially feels different. But when it really feels different is on a holiday, like Thanksgiving. It feels way different because you have entire families in there. It'd be like 15 people in one family, and there's tables like that all over the restaurant. So it just feels different. It's a regular day. It's a Thursday, just like any other Thursday. But because of the holiday, because of the occasion, it feels different. Same thing with Mamdani becoming the mayor. You're on the subway. It could be a regular day normally, but that day is going to feel different because of what just happened. All right. Now, look, this woman says she's a luxury real estate agent in Florida and her phone is blowing up off the hook. It's blowing up. She cannot keep it in her pocket. It's hot. It's like a bomb. Let's watch.
Okay, y'all, I'm not going to lie. I did not think exactly this was going to happen. I thought this guy was going to win in New York City. I thought that our market was going to pick up. But I didn't think it was going to happen like the next morning. I'm like, okay, my sellers like settle down. I don't think they're just going to come, you know, racing down and, you know, from New York City. But it's, I don't know. I don't even know what time it is, 3 or 4 o'clock. I've literally been on the phone since 7 a.m., nonstop back-to-back calls. I had showings scheduled for listings that haven't had showings in a month. And yeah, I was wrong because it literally turned on like a light bulb, literally blew off like a firecracker, and the post-socialist New York City political market is here on our shores in Palm Beach. Welcome.
There we go. So we all said that was going to happen. A lot of people going to leave New York immediately after Mamdani becomes the mayor. And I hope this is not the Mamdani voter. Hey, y'all stay up there. Everybody else, you got common sense. You want to be productive in society. You're not a bump on the log. You're not a welfare recipient doing nothing, just sitting on your hind parts, chilling as an adult, able-bodied. Hey, it's okay. We will review your application to come down south. But if you're not that, stay where you at. Stay where you at and figure it out. That's what I would say. That's right, Dr. Johan. Escape from New York. Escape from New York. That's what's happening right now. Oh, here's something funny. This guy says that Mamdani was charging people for beer at his party. Mamdani, how are you charging for beer? Aren't you a socialist? Aren't you a communist? I thought everything was free. I guess not, though. And not only are you charging for beer, you're charging quite a bit for beer. You're charging a nice little bit for beer. Hey, I got a question. How much do you think Zohran Mamdani was charging for beer at his party? A glass, whatever, however y'all drink it. How much do you think one beer at his party cost? This is the socialist guy, the Bernie Sanders, the Santa Claus, in the Aladdin universe. How much does one beer cost from Zohran? Y'all let me know. Tazante says it's free after you pay. Exactly. Okay, let's watch. I'm seeing some numbers: 15, 7 a can, $17, 10 a bottle, $20, $20, 15, 13, 12, 10, 25. Okay, let's watch.
And the plot thickens. This guy Mamdani was charging people $13 a beer at his victory party the other night. Socialist by day, capitalist by night. You can't even offer the people an open bar. It's bad enough you just spent a year telling people they're going to have it all. And now you're about to show them that you got nothing but complaints about the guy in the White House. And like rampant crime. You're going to turn the city into RoboCop. And you can't offer them a cold beer for free? And then you got the donation portal open the next day? Nobody's doing it like Mamdani's doing it. He should start selling invisible clothes. Yes, and this comes in extra large, small, and the supporters will. And the clothes are invisible. Yes, they're there. You could feel the weight. They're there. Shipping and handling is not included, and they gobble it up. Oh my good God. The irony. Well, where's the irony there? You don't find anything ironic about this kind of shit. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. It's like, okay, you are supposed to be the free everything, and we're going to take care of you, and it's all good, and don't worry about it. I can't get an open bar. Really, I can't get an open bar. I've been to political events before. I've been to a celebration, like an election HQ. I've been to these places, and they have open bars. I was at a spot here years ago where one of my friends won. Shout out to you if you're watching. One of my friends won, and he's in the state government. After we won at his HQ, it was open bar, it was food, all of that for free. So Zohran, and y'all said it, New York price $13 for a beer. I can't get open bar though. Come on, man. Come on. Take some of that money that you got and give me an open bar. What's the big deal? Matter of fact, not only was it open bar at an election, I'll tell you where another open bar. The Uncle Tom 2 premiere in Dallas some years ago. What was that? 22, 23? When we had that event, we went to a pizza place afterward, and it was not only free pizza, but free beer as well. Come on, you could do it. But you know what? Communists are only good when they take money from other people. I got one more. This is about Portland. I show Portland quite a bit, and I guess this lady is going to blame me and others who talk smack about Portland for the lack of foot traffic in the city. Now, maybe it's me that's doing this, or maybe it's the city just not being very inviting to tourism because of all the crack and meth and heroin all over the place openly, daytime, nighttime, whenever. Let's watch. All right, let's get some. There we go. Let's let it rock.
So here I am at my restaurant Mother's, and here's my dining room. Kind of empty now. One of the reasons why it's empty is because our city is empty. Why is our city empty? Well, because people keep talking smack about our city. Now, we've had issues. We know that. We've had homeless, like every city. And there's protests outside of ICE, like every city. But what's different about Portland, Oregon, is that people left the office buildings and then didn't go back after COVID. And one of the things that our great leadership of the city forgot to do was build housing downtown. So nobody really lives downtown. So we were very dependent on office workers. So now nobody's in the office buildings. US Bank left the US Bank building. Bank of America left the Bank of America building. Wells Fargo left the Wells Fargo building. So I am surrounded just by empty buildings. When I say I mean my restaurant mothers. And we were very dependent on this. And that's the state of downtown. Boarded buildings because empty buildings. Why empty buildings? Because people are not returning to their offices. And why would they? If I could work from home, I would. But I can't. I have to feed people. So here we are.
So is it about the smack talking about how bad Portland is with the crime and the drugs and the so-called protests of ICE? Is it about that? Or is it about the office buildings are empty because work from home and they can't get them to come back? So the foot traffic you had normally is not there. The only people you have downtown, for the most part, are going to be the people that smoke crack and meth and everything else. You're not going to have the foot traffic. See, I talk about all cities that have this kind of issue. LA, San Francisco, Portland, the whole left coast, free out of Washington. You're not special when it comes to being spoken about because of your issues. The thing that is the issue with Portland is that it sucks, number one, and number two, what you said, no more foot traffic because everybody went home. And she even said it. She was like, if she could be at home working, she would. She wouldn't come downtown either. She's only down there because restaurants down there. If not for that, she would never come downtown either. So why would I want to go down there? A lot of downtowns on the left coast, I'm not going to go. Downtown LA, Portland, all of that, I'm good. I'm not going. San Francisco, I'm not going. Send me to the nice area or don't send me anywhere at all. All righty, let's keep rocking. We got calls to get to. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. And then, but first, we got super chats on deck, okay? Super chats on deck first, then the calls, okay? Thank you to Mambo1278 who says, what's your favorite EBT certified ultra processed food? That's funny. Can I answer that question? Any kind of cookies, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know me. That's like, if somebody went, if somebody had an agenda against ABL to make me fat and just roly-poly, I can't go nowhere, I'm sedentary, just locked in the bed. If you wanted me to be like that dude that was like 1,000 pounds in his bed, had to get cherry picked out of his house, give me a big bag of cookies. Okay, the Oreos, they tear my stomach to pieces, but they're so good. Hey, them white Oreos, them yellow with the white. That's my favorite ultra processed big bag snack with EBT. Big bag of Oreos. Hey, if you see me in the store with Oreos in my cart, approach me and be like, ABL, are you okay? Is everything all right? Are you going through something? You want to talk to somebody about this? Like, what's going on? Let me call your mom. Hey, your son's out here with these cookies. I think something's wrong. But yeah, that's my favorite big bag snack of all time is some Oreos. My Lord. Thank you to Apple who says, ABL opinion on James Carville. God makes me mad. James Carville, I don't know. He's just been around for a long time. I saw what he said about 2028. James Carville, old Democratic operative, he said that in 2028, they're going to elect a Democrat and then they're going to adjust the Supreme Court. They're going to try to make the Supreme Court go from 9 to 13. So we'll see if that is a true prediction in 2028. We'll see. Thank you to Apple again who says J6 Capital Bomber ID. Surprise, surprise. She's a federale. Of course. Hold on. Let me just see if I can find that. What was this? The J6 Bomber? J6. Okay. I might not be able to find it right here. Capitol bomber. Okay. Capitol bomber identified. Okay, the pipe bomber story didn't add up. And okay, I got a little bit. I'll show you to you right quick. So on November 8th, today, the Blaze published an explosive claim. They had identified the January 6th pipe bomber as Shawnee Ray Kirchhoff, a former Capitol police officer, now working with the CIA. One more time. On November 8th, 25, that's today, the Blaze published an explosive claim. They had identified the January 6th pipe bomber as Shawnee Ray Kirchhoff, a former Capitol police officer, now working for the CIA. The story spread like wildfire across right-wing media and social platforms with breathless declarations that this was proof of a massive government conspiracy. There's just one problem. The story didn't hold up to scrutiny, and it wasn't confirmed. That's what they say. This is a deadly cost, deadly KOS. So I'm not going to report that as a factual story just yet. I'm going to keep my eye on that and just read it. Because you know what? I get these kind of emails every day. It's like, oh, I got a big tip. But a lot of times I hold off on it because I'm not sure if it's been verified. Sometimes people put out stuff a little bit too quickly, then they start to change it. So tomorrow I'm going to see if the story's still up and if we got more sources. And if it is more sources, then there's probably something to it. So we'll see. We shall see. Let's continue. Okay. Thank you to You're So Cool 23, who says, off subject, but PSA, check your chicken nugget seed. Tuna in the water cans contain soil. No valid reason for it. Thank you. Also, You're So Cool says, I don't eat canned much either, but in a pinch, which is how I discovered it, but you wouldn't expect that tuna in water. You're So Cool says, Biden was in my city last night for some reason. Front page paper said he said Trump taking the wrecking ball to U.S. and showed the 10 attendees. Hilarious. Thank you to Michael Guess, who says, I hope that when New York asks President Trump for financial assistance, clean up the city, the reply is drop dead or clean it up yourselves. Thank you to Virginia the Godmother, who says, hallelujah, I am 5 years cancer free. Hey. Shout out to you. And we wish you many, 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 many more years of being cancer free. Shout out to you. That's an accomplishment right there. 5 years cancer free. Hey, I love it. Thank you to Michael Guess, who says, as a German American, if the Russians were to delete New York City, I would not hold it against them. I sincerely mean that from my heart. Now, we don't want that now, but I understand what you're saying. Shout out to you, boss. All right. We got calls on deck now. Let's get to 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Let me get those lines on right now, and let's get rocking and rolling. And if you like what you're hearing so far tonight, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, and again, 706-406. Hold on, let me refresh. 706-406-3287. I'm speaking to you on line 203.
Hey, ABL, it's Mr. Steve. I'm the guy that ended up stopping all those psych meds.
Oh, hey, shout out to you, man. Congrats on that again.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. I just want to update everybody. If anybody ever has a family member or anything that is going through something like that, introduce them to God. Don't offer medicine up front. I mean, I know sometimes some people really do need it, but this is coming from someone that started medication at the age of 7, and I stopped it 3 months after my 40th birthday. And right now, I can honestly tell you that I don't have not one anxiety issue, not one depression issue, not nothing. I kind of feel like these medications, I've been on everything, to be honest with you. These medicines, I think, kind of start that issue, and it creates it and makes it worse. I do know some people get their ups and downs in life, and when they're really down, they think that medicine could help them, and it ends up bringing them into a trap, and it just ruins you. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe in it anymore. I really don't. And it's a shame that the big pharma is if you do some research, it really makes sense. It really does. Also, on the note with the SNAP benefits, I do know that Connecticut got their SNAP benefits today.
Okay, so we got some states that are getting some monies coming in.
Yeah. Connecticut got their SNAP benefits today. I have a friend who called me up and said that she got them, and I'm like, okay, so I'm glad that you're going to be able to eat now. But I mean, like, she wasn't not going to be able to anyways. I mean, there's plenty of resources out there with the community and everything, and I mean, it's not hard to get help nowadays from, places and stuff like that. Also, that part in your show today where what was it? It was the lady that was talking about her going to the food pantry. She doesn't look like she missed a meal in days. Who is she kidding? And those chocolate covered ho-hos, yeah. Who's gonna marry her? Come on, be honest. She doesn't look like she's married. She didn't even have a ring on her finger. And on top of it all, those are for her. Who's she lying?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's probably a fellow big back that's married to her because, hey, they pretty much roll together. You got one big back and another one, they on the same page. They can eat big back snacks together.
Yep, that's true. They all end up eventually finding someone of their own, so there's plenty of them out there.
That's right.
All right, man. Well, thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it. And mental awareness, I believe it's fake. You really just get God in your life, change your mindset, be positive, and work hard, and you'll go places. That's it. Flat out. That's all you got to do.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye now.
Great call. I agree with him. I 100% agree with him. But yeah, we've all seen My 1,000 Pound Life. It'd be somebody that looked like they bought 1 million pounds, and they got a husband or a wife or a girlfriend or something always. I'm gonna speak it to you on line 331.
Hey, ABL, it's Les. How are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Good, good. Long time that I haven't called in.
Yes, indeed.
I wanted to I want to just give about 2 comments here. So first about Mamdani winning his election with his victory, right? I mean, did you have really any hope that NYC was even going to flip red, to be honest?
No, not at all. I mean, and really, I knew Mamdani was going to win because he already beat Cuomo in the primary, and Carter Sliwa is a Republican in New York in 2025. He had no chance, unfortunately.
Exactly. So it's kind of like it's going to be the same thing with Chicago. Yeah, you see this whole movement with these young beautiful ladies out there with the Chicago Flips Red movement, right? I just call them a movement, where they're doing their due diligence. They're bringing awareness to the communities how Chicago has to flip red because everybody's tired of the Democratic stronghold that Chicago's been under for so many years. However, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be Brandon Johnson getting pushed out of office, and then guess what? They're just going to go ahead and elect another Democrat mayor. So it's going to be the same thing as what's going on right now over there with NYC. Now, I wanted just to give a quick comment about what's going on, like with Marjorie Taylor-Greene and all that stuff. So I honestly agree with the majority of the things that she does say. And the only reason why I agree with what she's saying is because she is bringing up valid questions and concerns that the American people do have the right to know. So, like, for example, like, why hasn't APAC, registered under FARA? Why are we sending $3.8 billion in foreign aid to Israel? Like, what benefit are we getting, the U.S., in return for all that money? So I can go ahead and say I think these are valid questions. I agree with these questions being asked, of course, and not just that. With whatever's going on with Gaza. Because look, the way I see it is this: whatever happened October 7th, it was a tragedy. Okay, I can sit here and say that. I can be honest. I think the most of us can go ahead and be on the same page with that. However, with how Israel has been responding, and it's not just been in the most recent years, it has been dated back since they became the state of Israel back in, what was it, 1948, I believe, or 47, somewhere around there. And it has been nonstop conflict with areas around, its borders. And it has been, ultimately, the way I see it is just to expand its borders. And I mean, quite honestly, a genocide, in my honest opinion, ABL. If people go on and see the images, which is on Twitter, right, or X, or whatever you want to call it, what's going on in Gaza, it is heartbreaking. I see my children's faces every day, and I could never, ever imagine that kind of a reality onto my children. And the simple fact that Bibi Netanyahu does not allow international journalists to go in and actually report on what is going on out there is actually something where we have to also raise that kind of a question. Well, why aren't we allowed to do that? I know that it's one thing where one of the concerns is, oh, because we are worried about these journalists' lives. It's valid point. However, a lot of these journalists, they take on that risk. They want to go out there and report these things so that they can go ahead and present this, to the world, right, in regards to what's really going on. So that's one thing. I mean, one other comment that I had to add with that as well. Um, Now, in regards to the student at Turning Point USA, I think he was raising valid questions. I think that we do deserve these kind of questions as to, well, why is it when President Trump was obviously very frustrated, he even dropped the F bomb, right? That both Israel and Hamas didn't know what the heck they were doing, and he was upset. Yet Israel goes ahead and launches an attack, and then we go ahead and we support them with bombing. I don't agree with this. Is the thing. It's like it's so much confusion, and there's not a lot of clear answers to the people. So this is where we're at right now, where a lot of us are just demanding honest answers. And the simple fact that Ted Cruz, and this is what really, really like lights a fire under me, ABL. And once I'm done with this, I'll be done. Okay. My last comment here is the simple fact that Ted Cruz goes on the Tucker Carlson show and and goes and misrepresents my Bible to go ahead and support this mass genocide that's going on in Gaza, with the majority of the population being affected is children. And he goes and says, well, in the Bible, it says that if we support Israel, God will bless us. That is a lie. I want someone to actually point that out to me. Where does it say that in the Bible? Because in Genesis 12, the only thing that God says, he tells Abraham that he was going to make great nations coming out of him, and that he was going to bless those that he was going to bless those that bless Abram, which later on he became Abraham, and those who curse Abram will be cursed. That's what our Bible specifies. It never says anything of, supporting the state of Israel or anything like that. That's actually what our Bible states. And if there is anything of that sort, then I would love for somebody to educate me on that. But that's what I know. I have read my Bible. I understand what it says. And that is the one thing that I ask of every single politician, every individual. Please do not involve, do not misrepresent, do not misuse my Bible to support this kind of like sick agenda that's going on out there, in the Middle East and all that. But besides that, ABL, I want to wish you a good night. I want to wish everybody in the chat a good night. And I just wanted to ask you if you can actually wish my second, today's his 12th birthday, the little patriot here, happy birthday.
Hey, my man, happy birthday, sir. Hopefully you enjoy your day and many, many more. You're 12 years old. You're almost 13. You're about to be a teenager. It's going to be up from there. So happy birthday, man. Enjoy your day.
All right, ABL, we love you. Have a wonderful night.
All right, thank you for the call.
Take care, ABL. Bye.
All right, shout out to the call, and shout out to Les for the call, and shout out to her young game, 12 years old. Hey, that's an amazing age right there. You're like right at the crossroads of, you're a little kid, and now you're about to be a teenager going to high school. Can't tell you nothing now. But yeah, as far as Israel, I mean, that ain't really my concern. I'm not religious. I'm not going to quote Bible at you, so I don't even know. Let's keep on rocking though. 786 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Anthony Brian Logan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Fine. It's great to talk to a fellow citizen of the new United Free States of America, or the United States of Free America.
That's right. Right on.
Amen. Well, I'm going to petition Governor Ron DeSantis, living here in Florida, to try to rename the St. Mary's River, which forms part of the boundary between Florida and Georgia, to rename it the Rio Grande East.
Good idea.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Well, my wife and I, about 2 months ago or so, we were in New York City. And, well, after seeing the mayor election, my wife was telling me, honey, thank God we went there before my Donnie got elected. And, as I call him, Mommy's Donnie, But the thing about it is, I think I know how Mom Donnie's going to pay for everything. He as you saw in that one ad asking for money, the one thing he'll try is panhandling. And the other thing is, along with the called donations, they say, look, send me $50 and I'll send you your free bus pass. Send me $100, I'll give you your free grocery allotment in the store. Send me $200, I'll get you a free car. Or you get the idea, right? So you make a donation and then I give you the free stuff. See how that works?
There we go. Just redistributing the money, just moving from one place to another.
Yeah. Well, comparing to Jesus, but I don't remember reading in the Bible that Jesus said, you go get the government to take other people's money so you can buy food for other people. I mean, when he fed the 5,000, he didn't make that a government program. He told the disciples, you give them something to eat. He said, all we have is just, a few fish and a couple of loaves of bread. He said, bring it here and divided it up. I mean, that theology professor, I think, needs to get a new Bible. But at any rate, and I feel sorry for the other lady, too. She's suffering from a medical condition. It's called when your heart bleeds too much. It's a condition that results in the heart bleeding too much, that it doesn't allow the proper flow of blood to the brain. I don't know what it's called, the medical term, but apparently she's suffering from it.
I see.
But I want to give a shout out to another YouTuber, Decoy Voice. I don't know if you ever listened to him.
Yeah, he's a great friend to the chat. Like I see him in here sometimes watching.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
I never noticed him in the chat, unfortunately. Hey, Deco Voice, my apologies. I should have noticed, but the thing that gets me, he brought up a point with all these EBT people screaming, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. Like the lady who couldn't get her daughter a popsicle, and yet she's got these like well manicured nails and beauty salon treatments. It looks like, and I'm like, you can't afford a popsicle, which is what, $4? And she's talking about all the brownies she eats. I'm like, why don't you give some of them up? I mean, some of these people got the money. I mean, J.B. Pritzker is part of the billionaire Hyatt Hotel thing, governor of Illinois. I mean, he looks like he eats about a supermarket's worth of food a day. I mean, why doesn't he give some of that to those poor hungry people? If he really cares. But, at any rate, Decoy Voice said this quote on one of his recent YouTube postings, basically about a lot of these people. They said they feel like they have a right to take advantage of our generosity. It's a right of theirs to take advantage of our generosity. A lot of them when he's listening to them. And I think that was well put when he said that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just all the other people, are free Americaners who are living in some of the so-called occupied zones. I'm hoping they're listening in. I just got a quick message for them. It's just simply this. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. Okay. Well, I got to let the other callers come in, ABL, but thank you so much. You're doing a great thing for America, for the United States of Free America, and God bless you always.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Great call. Shout out to the callers. You guys are fantastic. I saw a comment earlier I wanted to comment on. Somebody said that I say I'm not religious, but yet I was talking about it last episode. What did I say that was religious? Now, let's be clear, though. You could be a person that believes in the Bible. You could believe in God. You could believe in all of that without being religious. That's two different things. There's no religion in the Bible, if you want to talk about it. Like, I don't like being challenged when you're talking about the Bible and stuff like that. I know a lot, more than what you know. Unknown caller, who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, Anthony? Hey, good to talk to you tonight. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Man, this is just so crazy since Mamdani won. Oh, man. This guy is a complete scam artist. I don't think he's going to be a communist in the traditional sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure he'd be able to do anything effective at all.
Yeah, well, he's going to be effective at running the grocery stores.
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't there a government-run grocery store in Missouri about 2.5, 3 months ago?
Yeah.
And they were out of 80% of the stuff?
Yeah.
All the food?
And the things that were in there, it was rancid. It didn't really have anything.
Yeah.
It was a mess. And then they poured millions into the store. Millions. And it still failed.
Yeah, what reminds me of a story of one of my customers told me several years ago. He said, hey, I just got back from Cuba. I said, oh, wow, how was that? He goes, well, I was with a friend of mine and went to a grocery store and like 80% of the food was gone, at least 85%. He says, well, this sucks. Let's go to another grocery store. He says, well, we could, but there's one on the other side of the island and it's going to be about the same amount of food here. So what's the point,
Right.
So, man, anyway. Yeah, that's all I want to say. It's just, one more thing, actually. I'm really worried about Wall Street. What's going to happen to Wall Street being there in New York?
They're going to move it.
Yeah, where are they going to move to?
Austin or Dallas.
Wow, they better move it to a secret location far away from this guy. God, Jesus. What stupid idiots. If only they'd read history books, or at least watch a couple YouTube videos on communism and Nazism and dictatorships in general. They could avoid this whole mess, but oh well, I don't think it's good that communism won in New York. I think it's terrible because they were backed by Soros's money. I'm talking about Mamdani. About 4 days before he won, he was busted. He got $40 million from Soros. So I mean, first it's gonna be New York, then where else? Boston, Baltimore, L.A. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They want to take over one city at a time, Oh, well, I hope Trump cuts off funding to New York and or has this guy arrested for being a traitor, when he defies ICE, like Brandon Johnson, all those other idiots. So anyway, that's all I want to say. You have a great night tonight, and take care, man. Be safe.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
All right. Great call. Now, about the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange. I got an article. Okay, NYSE, this is from June. NYSE to launch a new Texas-based exchange as Dallas emerges as a financial hub. Okay, I ain't just make that up. Like this has already been in the works. So it's going to happen regardless. Now, whether they move the whole thing out there, that's a different story. But yes, Dallas. Okay, Texas is like Texas could be its own country still. Who am I speaking to on the line? 310.
This is Ron from Georgia. How you doing, ABL?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, another big week. Man, we need to have a moment of silence for New York. Man, a moment of silence. I'm telling you. Oh, boy. You know what? America is a giant petri dish. You know, and New York is just under that microscope right now. You know, that the liberal Americans, this uneducated generation elected us, and they're going to find out. And those who are in the free states of America will look at this petri dish going on in New York, and we're going to say, you see, this is what happens. Now, you know, we didn't have to go through this pain, you know, just like the pain that all of America went through with Joe Biden. Okay, but now the socialists, the Democrat socialists, communists, is going to feel the pain of what they think they want. They want free. They're going to find out free is not free. And the whole adage about, you know, this, what they want, they think free stuff means freedom. It does not mean freedom. Freedom means that you're free to set your own destiny. You know, we have the freedom to make our own destiny. And unfortunately, because we have that freedom that is given to us as a right to vote and everything like that, to choose our destiny, this is what these people in New York has voted for. The plan of the liberal educational establishment is being fulfilled. We dumb down the Americans, and they do dumb stuff. This is what happens. They dumb down in education. They go to these liberal arts schools. They go to college, and they just boast about their degrees. The degrees about nothing. You know, have no sense of reality in it. But like I said, it has plenty of theory, but theory is not a fact. The fact of the matter is that life is hard, and there's nothing free. Nothing is free. The air, you know, that we breathe, you know, is the only thing free, and salvation. That's free. But you know what? Everything in this country, within the United States, is not free. It costs something. It costs either blood or treasure. It costs something. And the people right now that's going to experience this in New York, they're going to experience a lot of pain. The lady that's crying about, you know, she's so happy that they did that when Obama got elected. Oh, I remember seeing all my family and everything crying and everything like that, you know, that we got a black man as a president. And I said, you know what? I said, that's great that we got a black man as a president. America is open to that. But the thing about it is this. Are you not listening to what he says that he wants to do? To fundamentally transform America? This is that fundamental transformation right there. To get rid of capitalism, get rid of self-sufficiency, to go ultimately establish this gimme and giveaway stuff. They can give away they give away plenty of promises. You know, they give that for free. But like I said, when the rubber meets the road, you don't get nothing. You don't get nothing out of it. Just like what they're saying. Just like that guy was showing you an empty suit, and these people go ahead and vote. I was looking at a classic candid camera, and you know they had somebody holding up signs with nothing on it, and people said, "Oh yeah, would you go ahead and protest with us and everything?" And on an empty lot with an empty sign, and people on the streets were actually. I mean, this is 1960 something now. It's going to show you how stupid people was back then. Right now, I bet you could do that right now. Give people a sign with nothing on it and go ahead and protest, and these idiots will go ahead and continue to walk around and protest it. They have no idea what they voted for. You ask them what they voted for, they think they're going to get a Lamborghini. That's going to show you how stupid these people are. But unfortunately, this is what America has educated our people with. You know, they're not teaching nobody about any fundamentals about how this country is established, what it takes to be an American, what it takes to be a working adult. It's a sad state to see. But you know what? Though it's happening over there, we're going to watch it. Trump and those who are really standing up for liberty and equality and freedom and self-sufficiency, you know, we're going to go ahead and we're going to see all this stuff, and we're going to continue to move forward. We're not going to be dismayed by what's going on. This is not an agenda, a referendum on the policies of this presidency. It's a referendum on them, on what they're doing and what Schumer is doing, and all the Democrat Party is trying to project this pain on America. You know, I went to the store today, and you know, we haven't eaten steaks in a couple of months. So we want steaks for tomorrow. So I went and bought steaks. Did you know that some people were mean mugging me because I had bought a couple of steaks for my family? And I'm like looking at folks and said, why are they looking at me like this, you know? And I was telling my wife that. I said, well, I was getting mean mugged because I had steaks. And what they getting, Cheerios and stuff like that. The lines wasn't busy. The store wasn't crowded. Thank God, you know, and I was able to just go ahead and get my stuff, what I casually just get. And granted, you know, it wasn't cheap. It's still, you know, my little bit of groceries, $100. But you know what? It's what I wanted. And that was my part to the system. It's not a government thing. It's my money being spent on that. But you know what? People would look at you and say, well, why are you getting steaks? Well, I'm paying for it. I'm not paying with your money. I'm paying with my money. So I'm saying to myself. But the thing about it is this, is that people need to understand that, you know, this is a great country that we're living in, you know, and we just really need to be mindful of that. And people need to continue to educate themselves. And like I said, look at this as a time to learn and a time to remember what's going on in New York, Chicago, California, all these here liberal states. You know, these are all petri dishes, and they're cancers. You know, they're but the thing about it is that we're gonna cut it off right where it's at. Don't California my Georgia, don't New York my Georgia. You guys stay right over there, and let's continue to keep pushing forward, America. Hey, good brother, I just love you, man. God bless you. God bless America. Keep praying for our president and our country. It's going to be okay. You know, they could go ahead and glee all they want, but they're going to find out that there's no such thing as free. The only thing is free is freedom, you know, and freedom to choose. And I choose what is right. I choose God. I choose my country, and the way it was established. You know, we all can make it if we all just try. And if we all came together as Americans, this country would be so much better. But cling to each other. Hey, continue to be positive, my brother. Continue to push forward that positive message, okay, beloved? Love you, man. You take care of yourself.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You too.
All right. Shout out to everybody calling. Everybody got a lot on their chest tonight, huh? I feel it. One more call. Everybody on the up, put the ball on top. Let's go to 949. You don't line. Who am I speaking to?
Good evening, ABL. It's Marta from Manatee, California. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Just earlier in the calls, earlier in the chat, you were showing a video of Kanye talking to, I don't know, who would you say that was he was talking to?
I don't know his name, but he's a rabbi. I don't know his name, but he's a rabbi.
Oh, okay. What I caught on about is the fact that he called bipolar a disease. He'd be wrong about that. It's not a disease. It's a illness. It's a chemical imbalance in your brain. So why is he going and trying to blame his mistakes and making it like, oh, it's my bipolar that I decided? I'm like, I'm not buying that. No, I'm not buying that because I know all about bipolar and you're just totally blaming it on that. He needs to take like actual responsibility for what he said. I heard on another podcast that he was into like Hitler and was wearing Hitler, T-shirts and that's like the first I heard anything of anything like that last night. I was kind of in shock. So, because people were saying, "Oh, I was a fan of his, but now I'm not," and so now I see this video that you're showing. So I'm like really confused. What is he trying? What is he trying to accomplish? Poor Kanye.
He's just all over the place. That's all.
You think so? Oh, okay. I wonder. Okay, where is he going to land?
Who knows? He could land in the clouds, the moon. Who knows?
Oh my God. That's all I really wanted to say, Colin, because I noticed that, but I just wanted to just let you know, let the callers know that he is wrong about that. So anyways, I just hope, all you can hope is the best for him. All right. I'll talk to you later, and God bless. Have a good night.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
All right. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. I think that's a wrap for me tonight with the calls. You guys are great. This 3 hours just flew by. I feel like I just sat down and then it's already over with. And it's getting past my bedtime. I don't want to start yawning, so I got to put on up, put the bow clean on top. Thank you for being here yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you heard tonight, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. But again, that is a wrap for me. I'll be back again live on Tuesday on the Instagrams. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram and you want some different content, well, more content, because I can't put, like, I could put more of the shorts and stuff like that on Instagram and Facebook, because YouTube, you got a 3, I don't know. YouTube is weird. They don't want me to do too much on YouTube. Other guys can, but not me. So it's okay, but Instagram, Facebook, they're cool. I can put whatever I want on there. So if you want more, you want, Instagram, Facebook, either one, I'm there. Twitter, I'm there as well. You can find more and different content that I'm not able to put on YouTube. But anyway, I'll be live on Instagram on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Live on Wednesday and Saturday on YouTube, 8 p.m. Eastern to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm here pretty much every day putting out pre-recorded videos, whether it's the shorts, whether it's the long form, whatever it is, I'm putting it out every day. So follow me. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. And again, thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching, retweeting, super chat, and whatever you do. And no, I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. I think I got all the super chats. So that's that. So that'll be a wrap for me. Until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.